Tonight on the Black Channel, we do an abject lesson in the merits of forgiving and forgetting. The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting superfortress of intelligent black thought. We are the Black Media, and this is the Black Channel. And I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the voice of Black America, the Black Authority, broadcasting to you live from the only historically black college and university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. You are, of course, welcome to join us. And join us you shall, because on tonight's program here, you know, 'tis the season to be forgiving. 'Tis the time to remember the blessings you've been given here, and peace and tranquility and goodwill towards your fellow man and all of that. And I just thought I would take this as an opportunity to remind people of exactly where we are. And it seems for some people that forgiveness is not in the air. Some people apparently don't think that they have an obligation to be forgiving here, and lo and behold, this otherwise sweet little great granny, boy, I'm telling you, y'all thought Tory Lane's situation was bad. I think they've had this one on trial for a couple of years now. No mercy. No mercy. From Sky News, former Nazi worker 97 escapes jail sentence after conviction for aiding 10,505 murders. And perhaps the last ever Nazi war crimes trial, Irmgard Furchner attended court for more than a year as prosecutors outlined their case against her. More than a year. A 97-year-old former secretary to the SS commander of Nazi Germany's Stutthof concentration camp has been found guilty of being an accessory to 10,505 murders. In perhaps the last ever Nazi war crimes trial, Irmgard Furchner attended court in Germany for more than a year as prosecutors outlined their case against her. Judge Dominic Gross delivered the verdict on Tuesday morning, and the Eichshow State Court handed Furchner a 2-year suspended sentence. He said the defendant was found guilty of aiding the murders of 10,505 people, along with 5 cases of attempted murder in the Stutthof concentration camp in today's Poland. Prosecutors said she aided and abetted those in charge of the camp in the systemic killing of those imprisoned there between 1943 and June 1943 and April 1945 in her function as a stenographer. In her function as a stenographer and typist in the camp commandant's office. They are saying merely the fact that she worked there, that was enough. Just working there. You didn't have to take part in anything. Just working there was enough. Furchner largely refused to answer questions during the trial, but said in her closing statement that she was sorry for what had happened and regretted that she had been there at the time. That's not an admission of guilt. Now listen to this next paragraph, people. Listen to the next paragraph in this story. The so-called Secretary of Evil was just 18 when she went to work for the commander of the Stutthof camp, where more than 60,000 people died. Folks, they gave her a nickname and everything. The Secretary of Evil? I mean, the demonization got to get kicked off for real. Secretary of Evil? You know, there were a bunch of secretaries, right? There's a couple of secretaries at every camp. 18 years old, the Secretary of Evil. They go on to say she was sentenced under juvenile law due to her age at the time of the crimes. Defense lawyers had asked for her to be acquitted, saying the evidence had not shown beyond doubt that Furchner knew about the systemic killings at the camp, meaning there was no proof of intent as required for criminal liability. No proof of intent. Listen to what they say next. Speaking after the verdict, defense attorney Dr. Wolf Monkenton told Sky News they would consider an appeal, quote, because there were some legal issues that haven't been addressed as yet today. Quote, now this is somebody else. Quote, it was impossible not to know what happened, Stutthof survivor Manfred Goldberg told Sky News, disputing Furchner's claims that she was not aware of the atrocities taking place there. Quote, there were bodies being carted openly through the camp. It was a defense many found hard to believe, says Sky News Europe correspondent Siobhan Robbins, who visited Stutthof and stood in the former secretary's office looking out the window, which has a view of the camp. Quote, historians told us sick, starving, and terrified prisoners would have walked past the building every day. Some may have been stripped naked, yet she claimed she hadn't seen them, wasn't aware. She also hadn't heard the screams from the gas chambers or been aware of the bodies hanging outside. And then there were the fires. I'm still quoting now. First from the crematorium, which burned 24 hours a day. And then, when that couldn't keep up with demand, the Nazis stacked and burned bodies in piles outside. The stench would have been ghastly, impossible to miss. Quote, now listen to this. Stamp this on your psyche. The next words I'm about to say. Quote, almost 80 years on, the lie failed and the guilty verdict was handed down, proving justice has no time limit and age is no defense. Speaking after the verdict, public prosecutor Maxie Wanson told Sky News that it was, quote, necessary and important, end quote, to go through with cases such as Furchner's. Quote, even today, not only for the survivors, but for today's and the future generation, to remind them what had happened and that we never forget. Quote, in German law, there's a rule that there's no statute of limitations for murder. And I think it's important that we all remember this. I think that's a very fine thing, especially to print here in the States, especially as we come to grips with the American Holocaust. Please remember, Carolyn Bryant still walks the streets. The mother of white supremacy. Carolyn Bryant is still alive and unprosecuted, and Joe Biden and all of his black bootlicks in his administration have given her a pass. Carolyn Bryant, the mother of white supremacy, is still out there, and you still have butt kissers telling us about the necessity and the virtues of voting for Joe Biden. And Carolyn Bryant is still walking the streets, or at least rolling the streets at this point. You wish to regale us with the stories of little old Nazi women who worked at the camp, and we are telling you about direct participants. And by the way, you know what? I think this is a wonderful standard to have. Carolyn Bryant and anybody around her should be picked up. The murders of Goodman, Cheney, and Schwerner, their killers and anybody around them should be picked up. Anyone who participated at the police departments, anyone employed at the police departments, the murder of Fred Hampton, anyone involved and anyone employed at the police departments. I think that's a perfectly fine standard. I have no issue with that. I think that's a perfectly fine standard. Black people should be afforded the justice that Jewish people have received all this time. We should receive that right here on American soil. We should receive that. No, there's no statute of limitations. No, it wasn't a long damn time ago. No, pick up her and the whole damn family. Anybody who did know or might have known, grab them all. Grab everybody. Frog march them into court. Bring their oxygen tanks, their wheelchairs, their colostomy bags, their prescription meds. Roll them all in. No, you cannot bail out. No, you cannot bond out. It's been a long time coming, but your day is here. It's been a long time coming, but your day is here. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Because as black people, that's the kind of thing we want to remember. We've been told to do something else. We've been told to do something else. As black people, we are not taught the same thing. And I know it's a holiday weekend, but I want you all to pay attention here. We're not taught the same thing. We're taught something different. We're taught to do something different. We are taught to expect something different. We are taught that our grace, our prime characteristic should be our ability to forgive. In other words, to absorb abuse. That is what gives us value as black people. Case in point, in a video that is sickeningly making the rounds, been viewed millions upon millions of times now. This is a black man at a Steelers game. I think it was Steelers versus Patriots. And this is what he was being subjected to by the local neighborhood Karen. Now, he didn't do anything to this woman. She's in his face talking about he doesn't belong in their stadium. And dude is not grabbing his chick and taking her away. And what I'm saying to you is that this young man has been applauded. You would think that this masculine, bulldog-built heifer This young man has been getting an endless amount of applause for his restraint. I think Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, invited him to lunch. What the hell? This video has been watched millions and millions of times. Everybody's talking about Jerry Edmond. Jerry Edmond. It's the Karen that I'm concerned about. Where is she? Okay, he gets to meet the New England Patriots owner. That's great. That's cool. But I'm in the business of justice, and everybody's been talking about who is she. And I'm interested in knowing, by the way, who's the Karen? Where is she at? I want you all to know something. This is not good. There isn't anything good about this. This encourages people. I want you to understand something. This kind of behavior encourages people. This encourages people. This encourages people to ramp up, because this was a verbal assault. Be very, very clear. If she had done this to it, you can't do this to Asians. This is called a hate crime against Asians. Do you understand that? If she had done this to an Asian, we would be discussing hate crime. Remember? Remember? This is a hate crime. If this had happened to an Asian person, they would be talking about hate crime, especially if a black person had done it. This would be a hate crime, remember? Remember? For doing the exact same thing, this would be a hate crime. So what they're trying to do is subtly, psychologically tell you that you are to be more afraid of white women and children. So you see, we return to antebellum slavery. You return to Bojangles. You return to Step and Fetch It, where you are on the level of an animal. You are beneath the level of adults, certainly, and you are below the level even of white children. And my point to you is that as black men, we don't do ourselves any favors. We don't do ourselves any favors. And I wonder about the person recording this. That's the next thing I want to know about. Who's the person recording this? Because I kind of question their motives. I question the motives of the person recording this, regardless of their race, by the way. Don't know what their race is. I question their motives, however, because seems to me that they were laying in wait and hoping that something would occur. And since something didn't occur, then they're trying to put a good spin on it. But this is not the way, and I'm going to say this, this is not the way that a warrior class responds to an assault and an attack. This is not the way in which your warrior class is supposed to respond. Your warrior class is supposed to set a tone and make an example so that the women and the children will be protected going forward. The warrior class should set the tone and set the example so that the women and the children will be protected going forward. So that you make it very clear, we're making an example so that this kind of behavior does not repeat itself. That's the point. In the chat room, Keen Me, we're going to have you call up when the phone lines are open. We're going to have you call up when the phone lines are open. You can regale us to your epic wisdom. So, Keem Me, go ahead and be ready to call in when the phone lines open. So my mods, make sure you keep his information to the side. We're definitely going to have him call in when the phone lines open. I want you to understand that as time has gone on here, the idea of neutering and domesticating the black male has become priority number one. Look, now, do you see the way the other fellas over there patting him on the back like a little child? Do you see that? I want to back it up so you can see that again. This is a grown man, and his dude is over there holding him and patting him on the shoulder. For what? Calm him down for what? For what? Notice what I was saying before, that infantilization. Grown-ass men behaving more akin to children, and this is what emboldens people to repeat this behavior. Only next time they go after your children. Next time they go after your kids. Next time they go after your children. That's the point I'm making. Next time they go after your children. Every time that kind of thing is tolerated, then it emboldens them even more. This was not a profile encourage. That's the point I'm trying to make to you here. This was not a profile encourage. This sets a dangerous precedent for all of us, that all the rest of us are supposed to demonstrate equal subservience. Only next time the circumstances will be far worse. See, this is what happens when you allow people to try you and test you in such a way. It makes it where the next time the circumstances are worse. If you all agree with what I'm saying here tonight, give me a black fist in the chat room and hit the likes button. I see some scared Negroes here tonight. But if you agree with what I'm saying, give me the black fist in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. I got some folks scared tonight. They scared and terrified. It's over 3,000 of you in here, but I'm sniffing the fear on some of you. Well, Jaden, it's just a football game. Ain't that theory right there? You gonna get us in troubles. Mr. Keem Me, you gonna get us in troubles. Why you gonna do that there? You gonna get us in troubles, Jason? You always troublemaking. If you agree with what I'm saying here tonight, give me the black fist in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. As black men in particular, you got to understand something. Don't let nobody sit up here and scare you. Every time we turn around, they talking about trying to scare somebody. Ooh, they could do this, they could do that. You could get arrested. Let me tell you something. Sometimes you got to be arrested to keep your guts about you. Sometimes you got to be arrested to keep your credibility. Sometimes you got to be arrested to keep your dignity. Folks sitting up here getting arrested for all kinds of damn things, and when it really counts, all of a sudden they're monks and nuns against merciless, heartless, soulless individuals. This is not a threat against one. This is a threat against all. I thought black males were supposed to be scary. I thought white women were clutching their purses and worried. I thought that's what that was. And then you find out the hell no, that's not at all what it is. That's not at all what it is. This is the kind of thing that emboldens people. It emboldens them. So in white society, they are told Never forgive. Never forget. Don't matter how old you are, granny, you can get it. In white society, they tell you, granny, you can get it. Doesn't matter who you are, how granny, you can get it. All day. But for black folk, well, you're a really good black man if you are excellent at accepting unlimited levels of abuse. So just notice what you're being told here. You see, if it had been a black female, then they would post it on World Star and it would be a big old joke. You understand that? If it had been a black female and he had done something to her, it would just be a joke on World Star Hip Hop. But here, the idea is being suggested to you that there's only one way to respond to this, and that is by you sacrificing your dignity. That's the only sensible response. And I suggest to you that this is malfeasance. As black people, this is malfeasance. We don't need any more accolades, and we don't need anybody else patting us on the back. And I'm not really giving a damn about, figure out who she is and tell her employer if this had been handled on site, then that would have sent a far more powerful message. As black people, we are not supposed to be allowing that. Just understand, that's the kind of thing that emboldens people. Month after month, year after year. And what they'll tell you is that, oh, this is so good that you've demonstrated such restraint. So they get you to a point that when you're being assaulted, the only option is restraint, which emboldens people even further. No. Wrong. You can figure out who she is after the threat is neutralized. We can figure out who she is then. We can figure out who she is, where she works. We can figure out all of that later. Later. We can figure out all of that later. Keep that in mind. We'll figure out all of that later. No, I don't approve. No, I don't. However, there are other people out there. And before I go any further, I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program here on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat. So Tom Slick, B1TBA, thank you very much for your support. My man Project Leroy on deck, peeping the message, breaking it down. We got to do that. Jafar Kahim, appreciate that as well. Mina Free and everybody else, thank you very much for your support here tonight. And speaking of support here tonight, man, it is rough on some folks out here. It is rough. It's rough on some people. Jason, how do you know it's rough on some people here? Because as the black media, we have the support of the people. So you hear things go a certain way. But there's other folks out there, they ain't getting the level of support that they would like to be getting. And as a result, man, times are rough over there. Oh, 'tis the season to be struggling.
All right, folks, time to go to a break. We come back on Roland Martin Unfiltered. We'll talk about black churches being targeted with predatory loans as well as nefarious bond companies. We'll talk with Pastor E. Dewey Smith. You don't want to miss our conversation. Don't forget to support the Black Star Network. Download our app, available on all platforms: Apple phone, Android phone, Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. Also, support us in what we do by joining our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar you give goes to support this show, and so we appreciate all of you. We got to get 2,000 people contributing at least $50 this month to hit our goal. We've got some amazing things coming down the pipeline, our 24-hour streaming channel, all of those different things, folks. So your support absolutely matters. Send your check and money orders to P.O. Box 571.
Oh, he needs 2,000 people to give $50. Wow. Okay. That's pretty thick there, Roland.
96 Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Cash App $RM.
Okay, he done talked so long, the music done ran out. Well, you might be thinking to yourself, well, Jason, that's just one time. Don't worry about it. No, actually, it isn't just one time, and it actually gets worse.
A lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us. Invest in black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money.
Whoa. Now, folks, just so you be aware here, this was 2 days ago this was streamed. 2 days ago. Did you catch that? Like he said in the previous video, we need to raise $100,000. He goes in a little bit more detail this time, though, to let you know exactly what that is.
Covering us. Invest in black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible. Checks and money orders go to.
We're behind $100,000. Did I hear that correctly? Today, we behind 100,000. The year's almost over. We're behind $100,000. Behind. 100 grand behind. I'm figuring he's still trying to pay for that Sprinter van. I don't know. Yeah, y'all, he sounds like Jerry Falwell and Kenneth Copeland. But the old black media is rough days over there now. It's rough days. He's sitting up here ringing the bell and ringing the Salvation Army bell. Hey, help, help. We 100 grand behind, $100,000 behind. Yeah, that check from the DNC must have not cleared. That check from the DNC must not have cleared. Yeah, by the way, the election is over. The Democrats didn't win like they thought they were going to win. Now Roland is literally saying, hey, I'm 100 grand behind what I need. $100,000. I thought everything was sweet. I thought everything was sweet over there. According to him, everything is just fine. We doing good at Black Star Network. Everything is good over there. You know, my folks, we getting paid on time. Everything's great. 'Tis the season to be begging. 'Tis the season to be panhandling. Yes, I mean, the struggle is for real. The struggle is for real. Well, for those of you who thought it was okay and thought it was great and just figured, well, don't worry. By the way, you never heard me say we're behind on anything. Never heard that. You don't hear that over here. Whole difference. By the way, I travel the country, do a hell of a lot more than bowling ball. So just understand, and things ain't working out as well as they might want you to believe over there. Not working out nearly as well as they might want you to believe. However, you might see things differently here. You might be in the mood to forgive and forget. You might be in the mood to do that. There were a couple of folks in the chat room there who need to go ahead and give us a call for that, so we're going to go ahead and give them the opportunity to do that. Therefore, the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. your personal access code to the Black media. By the way, we are going to be here tonight, and we will be here tomorrow night. We're here Christmas Eve. We'll be here Christmas Day. I don't know. I might even get froggish and show up Monday. Who knows? But we're going to be here Christmas Eve, which we are. We're here Christmas Day, which we'll be. We'll be here for New Year's. So just understand, white supremacy does not take a holiday, and neither do we. I want to thank each and every last one of you for being here tonight. Before we do anything else, I want to take a moment to thank you all for being here tonight. And I want to remind you that a decade ago, the conversation was radically different than it is right now. If you'll remember, a decade ago, the conversation was radically different. They were struggling not to acknowledge our existence, even though they knew we were there. But with your help, because it wasn't me by myself, I got help from all of you. And we fundamentally changed the conversation on this planet, not just in this country, but on this planet. Black first, Black empowerment being defined as dollars, and reparations being defined as cut the check. You and me and us and we're the ones who made that happen. Politicians have been chased out of office. White supremacist cops. Remember a decade ago, after Trayvon Martin, I was warning everyone about what was happening there. I warned everyone about where we were in history and that this was the most dangerous time we had ever been in. And I also said, unfortunately, we may need that to linger a bit longer because Black people are too wanton to want to walk off the field. And if the threat ever looks like it goes away, then they'll say like, oh, well, we can go home. And in that time, we made a tremendous amount of progress in the last 10 years. So much so the point that the old Black media has conceded that they no longer control the national narrative and they don't control the conversation. We speak for the young. We speak for the hungry. We speak for the ambitious. We speak for those who do not wish to live on their knees anymore. We speak to the intelligent, and we speak to those who want Black empowerment, plain and simple. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and uncompromising. So I want to thank you all for being here tonight. You could be doing a lot of things with your weekend, but we are now more focused than ever. So while the rest of the world is engaging in tomfoolery and screwing around and messing off and taking their focus elsewhere, our focus is squarely, firmly on the ball. The last 10 years have only been an appetizer. The main course is coming up. I want to thank all of you for being a part of that. We are going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. When we come back, your phone calls. This is The Black Channel.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. My name is Joe Jackson. I'm a foundational Black American, and I entered the field of IT with the goal of helping the family globally. The industry's been changing, and I've learned a lot. But how did we get here? How do we navigate issues we face in the workplace? How can we get our house in order? Read The Concept and Intricacies of Being Black in IT, now on Amazon, as well as the best-selling Guide to Being Black in IT. Go to beingblackинit.com.
Higher Life Recruiting and Consulting specializes in direct placement. If your company is looking to hire top talent, or you are looking to start a new career, our network of professional recruiters can help. We provide recruiting, LinkedIn lead generation, access to our professional network, paid job postings, interviewing, and more. Check out our specialized services: information technology recruiting, STEM career consulting, sales recruiting, hiring process consulting for your business, resume writing, LinkedIn profile consultation. Follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn and get higher with us.
Girl, I am so tired of Twitter and TikTok. We need something just for us.
Yeah, and I would post some 6 zeros, but they don't have a mobile app.
That's a lie. 6 Zeros actually does have a mobile app. It's available on iOS and Android.
That's your phone?
Yeah.
That is humongous.
Anyway.
6 Zeros is where the Black community taps into unfiltered and authentic conversations on the topics we know and love. I gotta get out of here. But remember, don't just sign up.
We know. Host.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is The Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening, and the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. You are certainly welcome to call us. If you've been instructed to call in, you are required to call us. Want to send a big shout out to everybody who's contributed to support tonight's program here. So my man, Mr. Rich Berg, I see you there. Thank you very much for your support, brother. You could be doing something else with the weekend, but I appreciate it as always coming through. My girl Brenda Starr, Mark B, Mr. Saunders, Mr. Rhodes, and everybody else here on PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat. Thank you very much for your support. And we're going to go ahead and get to the telephone lines now. Let me get caller from area code 419. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, my name is King Me in the chat room, but I go by Leon. I was instructed to call up.
All right, Leon, what's on your
mind? I was
instructed
to call up because I said that you was going to give that guy 99 years.
We were going to get that guy 99 years, and exactly how were we going to do that?
Well, if he would have did something to that lady right there, he would have ran his ass to the ringer.
Okay, tell me the last time that happened.
It happens all the time.
Oh, great. Tell me the last time that happened.
Something that's notable or just something in general?
Tell me the last time that happened. We're listening.
Well, when a brother do something crazy to a white lady and
tell me the last time that happened.
Well, that wasn't the last time that happened. I don't think that happened before.
Okay, then what you're really expressing now is that basically this is an exercise in scared nigga disease, is what you're telling us.
No, I wouldn't be saying that he was scared. I think he was doing the right thing.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about him. He was No. When I say scared nigga disease, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about you.
Well, me, I mean, I come from the South. I come from Texas, and I moved to the Midwest.
I come from Louisiana, Shreveport.
That's not nothing new. And then I'm myself personally, I've been through something like that before. Like, I had a white lady get in my face, and actually I'm in the Midwest now. I'm in Indiana, and it's actually way special up here in the Midwest than it is down south. And I had an incident like that happen to me before. And, she got all in my face and telling me this, that, and that, and this. And I retaliated and did something right there. And I had some good old boy jump out on me with some guns. So I was damned if I do, damned if I don't. And I ended up going to jail for that.
Some good old boys jumped out on you.
So you have no win in that situation right there.
Some good old boys jumped out on you with some guns.
Yeah, that's the way they do it right there because they do protecting females.
No. Did that actually occur, or were you just scared that would occur?
No, that occurred.
Okay.
I mean, I don't speak on no lie about that. That's my own personal
experience.
I went through that.
And it sounds like you're still here.
I mean, what was I supposed to do in that situation? What, get gunned down?
Okay.
Nobody would never know me or what?
It sounds
what the hell? You lose in that situation.
It sounds like you're still here. So with all this fear about that and whatnot, and you're still here.
Yeah, back then, what I supposed to do? Run at them with some guns? I ain't have no goddamn it on me.
Okay, why didn't?
What I supposed to do? Run at them like that? They would have gunned me down.
And why didn't, sir? And why didn't you?
Well, for what? It's not even worth it.
Sir, no. Why are you walking the streets of America with no protection when there's white supremacists everywhere?
Well, just a simple trip to this convenience store. I didn't think it was something like that was going to occur.
And
but now I'm prepared now.
That's
I'm
the
well
definition.
aware of it now.
Okay, that's the definition of an ambush, is somebody waiting until they catch you slipping and they think you're not ready because you're taking things for granted. Yes, that's the definition of an ambush.
No, it's not. Well, yeah, I guess now, but going through those kind
not
of things
now.
right there.
No, sir. No. Now has been ever since 1495. This isn't new. You acting like this has only been a problem in the last 3 or 4 years, sir. What the hell are you talking about?
Look, Jason, I know it's a big problem.
Right.
But I'm saying in that guy's situation right there, he was in front of all of those people right there. What was he going to do? What was he supposed to do? Do something to her and be a martyr? It's not about being scared.
It's not about,
he had no sir.
It's,
right there,
no, sir. It's not about being a martyr either.
I mean, essentially, if he would have did something to him, he would have been a martyr. And they would have drug his name to the media and everything.
We wouldn't.
And he would just
no,
been
actually,
up Shit Creek without a paddle.
No, sir. Actually, he would have set a precedent. You got videos. Sir, you have videos all the time. If you'd like to go to my timeline and whatnot on Twitter, we have videos all the time when the white supremacist gets out of line. And as black people, the real thing is we have not made sure about that kind of behavior. You had a black woman up there in New York who got arrested in handcuffs. First, she got held up by the Asians because she wasn't able to leave, and they held her there until the police came and arrested her. You have black women getting hands put on them all the time by Asians and white folk at their stores. That happens That happens all the time.
Yeah, that's very true, right there. I'm not disagreeing with you on that one, right?
Right.
There. You understand they can have a whole different standard, though. They can put their hands on us, but we can't do nothing to them because we the big bad boogey.
No, sir. Then
if we do something,
no, sir.
Then
there's only a different standard if we allow it.
I mean, come on, Jason. You way older than me, and I'm a fairly young guy, and
how
just
old
being out there
are
in general,
you?
Right there,
how old are you, son?
28.
This kind of attitude is going to have you Miss Charlie and Miss Annan at 38 if you're not doing it already.
No, I'm not Miss Jolly, Miss Annan. No, never.
It sounds like
it's not that we just.
It sounds like you're about 2 steps away from a step and fetch your Bojangles dance. I'm not gonna lie to you. It sounds like you're about 2 steps away from it. Sounds like you're already warm.
Nah, never that right there.
You're warming your feet up and you're getting ready to do it, man. He's getting ready to showtime at the Apollo. Now, let's be very,
never that right there.
Let's be very, very clear.
I mean, look.
Here's the issue. Let's be very, very clear. This is not about, because you're conflating psychological conflicts here. This is not about looking for trouble. This is about what do we do when trouble comes looking for us.
I mean, now we live in a different area. Everybody want to shoot. We not in the air throwing hands.
Okay, sir, they're at the New England Patriots game. All you doing is all this scared talk. You really, really are. All you're doing is all this scared talk.
That's not scared talk. Oh, okay, he would have threw it down, and then what? They would have rushed him right there. He would have been mobbed by a crowd.
First of all,
they're gonna sit there and let somebody do that.
First of all,
like
I'm not going to say what exactly should have been done. That's the first thing. I'm not going to say what exactly should have been done. What you just named is one thing, but there's several different ways that could be handled, other than what you just said. So you're looking for excuses.
I mean, I think that he handled it correct right there. He just ignored us. That's what you're supposed to do right there. Because he had no win in that situation right there. Sometimes you got to know how to pick your battles.
And your only justification for saying that was the right thing to do is because that's a white woman.
In that situation, yes, that was the right thing to do right there.
Okay.
Now, I don't know. That could have been some staged. For all I know, who knows? Who really knows the nitty gritty when it comes down to that?
No, sir, not staged. No, but I'm just saying. So you feel that was the right thing to do?
Well, ignoring her, yeah. If you'd have did something, got in her face, or retaliated or pushed her, did anything like that right there, you know how they get down. They're gonna be, oh, he did this.
And how? Tell me exactly
that crime.
Tell me how exactly does this? What are the ramifications for the future if you think that was the right thing to do? Then what do you think will happen in the future when this repeats itself?
Well, what happened in the future, right? I understand it's emboldened. They already emboldened. I mean, I don't really understand you talking about that's sitting down a president for the future. And it's no, I mean, they already emboldened. You see it all the time. And it don't even matter anyway, because like the youngsters are sissies anyway, so hey. Okay.
All right, brother, I'll let you.
So much for civilized talk.
Sir, there's been nothing uncivilized at all, sir. I've let you speak. Jason, let him talk. Let him talk. I've let him speak. I haven't interrupted him. I've let him speak. I haven't said a word in the last minute.
I mean, it's kind of hard to talk over some banjo music.
They can hear you just fine, sir.
Oh, Lord. Anyways,
I just felt like
that man up to get 99 years.
I just felt like this was
that would have been messed up.
I just felt like this was an opportunity to put things in their proper context. That was all. I just wanted to be in its proper context. That's it. Now it is. That's all. Now it's
okay. Well, it's in its proper context. But by me
it's,
being in Indiana, though, there was a situation that happened in Indianapolis.
Young man, do you
realize? And there was a guy right there.
Do you realize you've got a cowardly, sir? Do you realize you got a cowardly story for everywhere you've been? Do you realize that?
Well, I travel. You don't.
Okay, I've traveled. I traveled a lot younger and a lot further than you. You've got a story of cowardice everywhere you go. Where are your people from?
Texas.
No, where are they from before that?
Bastrop, Texas, to be exact. I'm not an immigrant, not whatsoever.
No,
sir.
No, you them feet running.
I am not an immigrant.
Those feet are too eager to run for you. Those feet are too eager to run. You already got your track shoes on.
It's not eager to run. It's just that the whole point is that we live in a whole different environment. Even though it's kind of fucked up. I mean, you got to pick your
I
battles.
don't know, man. I'm sniffing like flip-flops in Del Rio, Texas. For some reason, I'm detecting it. So
no, it's not that, Jason. I'm not running a coward or nothing like that. Look, by me coming from Texas right there, I grew up fighting. I
haven't heard a word about you fighting nothing. I've literally everything you stated has been an example of running.
One time right there, I had a Caucasian female jump in my face. I retaliated right there. I'm by myself pretty much. Then some good old boys came upon me. Now, what do you want to do in that situation right there?
If you know that's a hostile, excuse me, if you know that that's a hostile environment, then that's kind of stupid of you to be out there defenseless. If you already know.
Now, this is when I first moved to the Midwest.
Okay, sir.
Down south right there,
how old were you when you moved to the Midwest?
When I moved to the Midwest, I was 19 years old.
Okay, you didn't know that white supremacy is everywhere?
No, not at the time.
Okay, then have you slapped?
The environment I grew up in,
have you gone back, sir? Have you gone back to, sir? Have you gone back to Texas and pimp slapped your mama and your daddy for putting you out in the world that ignorant?
No, I did not do that.
Okay, and the other thing is, at 19 years old, dude, I'm from Louisiana. We all know about racism by the time we're 10. If you were 19 operating as if it wasn't everywhere, that's called willful ignorance. That's on you. That's on you.
I just never thought of
That's on you. That's on you.
A simple ride going to the store.
That is on you.
Going to the store.
If you are older than 8 years old, that is on you.
I mean, well, I know now.
Okay.
I mean, how many people done lost their lives
Sir,
just going out?
Young man, keep those track shoes leathered and moisturized and clean. I got a feeling you're going to spend the rest of your life with a lot of
I'm nowhere near a
miles
coward.
on you. Thank you for giving us a call. Boy, I'm telling you, every word he says is about how proud he was to run, boys. Get up out of here. You don't understand, Jason. It's been bad out here. What about your parents? I didn't even know about no raising like that, right? Really? Yeah, he sounds much older than 28. He sounds like he's about 48, so. All right. Caller from area code 415. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Don P. calling from San Francisco.
Don, what's on your mind?
Man, awesome topic. I just saw two things, in the video at the football game, and then the other one. They're going to keep promoting this agenda of separation between the black man and the black woman, combined with the swirl agenda. This is what their agenda has been. And just to bring it full circle back to the other topic, it's the same people throughout history that has caused us harm.
Well, right now it sounds like what they got are a couple of young fellas out here and whatnot. He's 28 years old with his damn tap shoes on and his track shoes. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, Don. Let me get caller area code 708. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
TBA, this is James from Chicago.
James from Chicago, what's on your mind?
I want to say to the caller, the caller before, not the last one, to the caller before that call, I'm younger than what he claims he is, and I understand that this is more than just about the football game. This is about the principle, because he sat there and the dominant society promoted him sitting there and promoted his passiveness and promoted him acquiescing to that white woman. And this is why we have the principle of white people running up on black people and doing whatever they feel like they want to do. Can you imagine what would have happened if there wasn't thousands of people around? And this is her being restrained because there's thousands of people around. We see videos time and time again of white people catching a black person lacking, just the same way that caller said. White people catch me lacking all the time, and turns out the white person winds up killing the black person because we set the principle of black people not doing anything.
Just
black people,
understand
quote unquote,
something.
picking their battles carefully.
They know the power of positive reinforcement. This guy got to meet the New England Patriots owner, Soledad O'Brien, and a bunch of blue checks on Twitter, sitting up here talking about they want to know who the woman is, and this guy was so brave and restrained. They understand the power of positive reinforcement. And this is like when they reinforce black men putting on the dress in Hollywood. This is like when they reinforce black men embracing moistness and effeminate behavior. So they understand that Pavlovian response. They understand the power of positive reinforcement. So for you to have millions and millions and millions of views with all of them saying the same thing, think what the message is that's being sent out. Sometimes you gotta go in handcuffs to keep your manhood. Sometimes you gonna have to do a bid to keep your manhood. Sometimes that may happen. I'm not here to tell you all that will not occur. Sometimes it may come down to that. Sometimes it might. Sometimes it might. This isn't a situation where he went looking for trouble. He's not walking through the mall talking about what you doing, jive sucker. He's not doing that. This man is simply sitting here trying to enjoy his civil liberties and his civil rights, and they're being encroached upon. And what I'm telling you is neither man nor female nor beast has a right to do that with you. Neither man nor woman nor beast has a right to do that. Not at all. Not at all. And when you set the precedent that we're going to give the open communication that this is what is acceptable, and it is only towards black men. Black men are the only ones that you're under this constant, unrelenting assault. That your manhood is defined as passive. Your manhood is defined as your ability to absorb and accept insult, disrespect, verbal assault, and verbal threat. And physical assault and physical threat. By the way, it goes beyond that. Physical assault and physical threat. Your manhood is defined by your ability to accept those things. Now, Asians, your manhood is defined by your ability to reject those things. While you got Asians walking the streets in New York, allegedly, at least they claim, policing their streets to watch out for anti-Asian hate crimes. They're not being held up as toxic masculinity, nor are they saying the Asian women need to take the lead. You know, all the things that they say when they come over here on our side, all the little psychological psyops they try to impose over here, you're not hearing that in these other areas. So they understand the power of positive reinforcement. They get it. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All I got to say, thank you, B1. And if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Let me get caller from area code 646. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Onan from Queens.
Onan from Queens. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so you're dropping a jewel this evening, as always. Black people really got to get into the habit of checking these white people on their bad behavior. And I'm going to bring up a case that happened a couple of days ago at the Stillwater Afternoon Station in Brooklyn to a sister named Tanya McCrae. And I'm pretty sure some of my New York family may have known about it. But basically, she got assaulted by this white supremacist. I think he worked for a bank in Midtown or something like that. His name is Jean-Francois Coste. You know, and he was trying to get through to the employee section of the MTA station, and this sister stood up, you know, and the guy decided to punch her in the face twice. You know, and from what I understand, in New York City, if you assault an MTA officer or MTA employee, that's 7 years automatic. You know, and I don't hear nothing about him being locked up, being sent to Rikers. You know, all I hear is that he's being suspended. You know, so black people definitely got to get into the habit of defending themselves. Don't try to accept this behavior, that it's all good and that you're good people and Jesus will accept you. Nah, that's not the business.
You got to understand, brother. I mean, you know this in New York. I mean, Rikers is a place where you can be there for damn near 7 days before you go in front of the judge. You can be in Rikers for 7 days before you go in front of the judge. Joe Budden talked about this years ago, that when he got arrested at Rikers, they have a sign when you go in there that says, when you go beyond this point, you cannot bond out for 48 hours. You're going to be there for at least 2 days. And you can be, anybody in New York City knows, you could be held at Rikers for a week and not see the judge. No matter how minor the offense is, Rikers is a place where you could literally be there for a week and not see the judge. So when you're talking about that happening to, you know, an MTA employee and whatnot, yeah, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be. So the issue that we have here is something different. We got a different issue here. The issue that we're having here is, and I will say this, black folk in New York understand that. Black folk in New York, you know, especially on the subway, black folks are vigilant about that. There's a reason, but there's a reason for it. I mean, black folks understand. Like, if you've never been to Subway in New York, I mean, it's kind of claustrophobic once you get in them cars. I know, I've been in it. It's kind of claustrophobic, and it's not really a short trip anywhere, to be totally honest. So what I'm saying is, it's like being in an airplane. When that subway train starts moving, you really your own security and your own defense force. You really are. It's just you and them. It really is.
Yeah.
It's big ass long steps to get down into it or out of it. So what I'm saying is, if something happens to you on the subway, it's just you and them. It's just you and them when that train starts moving, or even on the ramps, it's just you and them. So black folk in New York have learned to take on a certain demeanor. They've learned to take on a certain demeanor in that situation because they understand, they know. If it jumps off, it's going to be just you and the white supremacists. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 718. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jay, this is James, Pennsylvania, the Poconos. Was born and raised in Harlem. Lived on the Lower East Side since 1963, all the way through the 80s and 90s. Still got family down there. So when you talk about all that stuff that's going on in New York, Chinatown, Little Italy, Tribeca, I know all about all of that crap that's going on there, okay? And I was an employee with the MTA for 30 years. I retired 5 years ago. I was a conductor, okay? Give you a little background. So anyway, that other caller with that plantation scared mentality, only thing that's going to do is get more black men and women and children killed, okay? Me as an ex-MTA employee, we were whipping asses left and right, okay? And this was before they passed that law. If you assault the MTA worker, you'll get 7 years. Ain't nobody getting no 7 years.
No.
And we know it because the MTA is not pressing no charges against nobody. So we had to take matters into our own hands, okay? You hear from the horse's mouth. But I have a question at the end. About 5 years ago, I had this Hispanic female, Burger King manager, berating young black man cashier. Brother was doing his best. He was new. Berating him in front of everybody in the store. I told her to stop. She started arguing with me. Make a long story short, she went outside, waited for me, and slapped me. I beat that bitch down in the ground. Okay? Simp-ass cops come along. They charged me with harassment, even though I showed them the video of her slapping me. I didn't give a shit. You put your hands on me, I don't care if you man or woman. You get a beat down. Okay? My question to you is, how do we stem the tide? Because you see where this is going. What steps do we need to take other than whipping asses in the street? What other steps do we need to take to stop this bullshit from going on?
Well, I'm going to be a little measured in what I say because, as you all know, YouTube targets my channel. What I am going to say is defend yourselves is what I'm going to say. What I am going to say is that we all we got. What I am going to say is that we as a people, what you demonstrate to them is we've waited on, quote unquote, the law and the folk in charge of that. They've been playing this game where you wait on us and we'll take care of it. Well, you haven't been taking care of it. So as Malcolm X said, if you don't deal with that Ku Klux Klan, we'll deal with it ourselves. This is the time to demonstrate to them, hey, we done talking. We're dealing with it ourselves. We're dealing with it ourselves. And I've warned everybody here, when you go somewhere and whatnot, bring your candy bar. And if you're in a tough social situation, make sure somebody got bail money. I can't tell you when it's going to go down. Just understand, just like with you, with me or anybody else, they're going to try to catch you when they think you're by yourself. I can tell you all
Yeah.
right now, I have never been pulled over by any law enforcement anywhere in America off the top of my head. It might have happened once, but I've never really been pulled over when I was with somebody else. I've only been pulled over when I was by myself.
Me too.
Arizona,
Me too.
California, Texas, the Carolinas, Georgia, Arkansas, you name it. I've only been pulled over when I was by myself. And I think a lot of you have the same story. So what does that tell you? That all of us from all these different places strewn across the country, we all got the same experience. And by the way, comparing notes. Hey, have any of you ever been pulled over when somebody else was in the car with you? Not really. Usually you're by yourself. Now, if the infraction is basically based on how you're driving or what you were doing or whatever, how is it that the only time that you got actually pulled over was when you were by yourself? There's no way. That defies mathematics that that's coincidental. That all of us got the same story. That's called targeting.
Right.
That's called targeting.
Just all of us got the same. Yeah. They're selective in who they stop. You know, less black people get pulled over at night because they can't see us, okay, in the dark. But we get pulled over more than everybody else because they're selective in who they're going to stop. And they stop black people more than anybody else. One last thing before you go. That caller, he really burnt me up, okay? Because I got a whole bunch of, and I was in the black church my whole life. I had to leave, got tired of the hypocrisy. I got a bunch of people in my family, especially hyenas, and people in church. And I'm just so sick of hearing black people talk like a bunch of damn scared ass rabbits. Oh, don't do this. Don't do that. Don't say this. Go turn the other cheek. You got to forgive. If you don't forgive, God won't forgive you. I'm like, you know, Jay, we would still be on the plantation if the Negroes we got today was back then. We would still be on the plantation. Whatever happened to people having some balls on them, men and women? Jason, I don't know.
We've been conditioned.
Help me here.
We have been conditioned by the media because there's a reason why they promoted certain types of music. You know, for men and women, by the way. You know, you take a look at 30 years ago, you take a look at the love songs back then, you take a look at 30 years later, the females, the only thing the females sing about now is how much they disrespect the men. They don't like them and don't need them and how much they disrespect them. So that's being pumped out. Then you got with the males, whether they have immigrants or otherwise, and they're pumping out hostility towards other black folk. So that's the media taking its part in conditioning us that when it comes to disrespect, you are allowed maximum and extreme punishment against other black folk. But if there's a white person walks in the room, there's only a certain way you're supposed to respond to that. So they're hitting you from all sides on it. This is PSYOP 101. They're hitting you from all sides to condition you that when you're in the company of other black people, you can prosecute with extreme prejudice. But if you're in the room with non-black people, your saving grace is your ability to absorb that kind of punishment. And what it does is it completely corrupts your mindset because it should be exactly the other way around. Other black folk don't have power over you, and the people who do, you're sitting up allowing that. And that takes a horrific toll. Think about this for a few moments. This black male's being talked to like that at a football game. And some people would say, well, this is completely harmless, and Jason, you're making too much of it here, and if she wants to act a fool, blah, blah, blah. Great. You know what? I'll accept that. Now, I want to give you one scenario. Let's just say this man has children, and let's just say that his 5-year-old black son is watching this, and let's just say that instead of it being some crazed Karen at a football game, it's his first grade teacher talking to your 7-year-old son like this. And your 7-year-old son has been taught that good little black boys don't sit up here and make a ruckus when white women talk to them that way. So the only time you're supposed to buck up is in the company of other black folk. Just understand that this is nonverbal communication and nonverbal conditioning. And now that I've stated it to you all like that, I hope you understand what the real threat is. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Now that I've explained it to you all like that, how many of you who are agreeing with the caller and talking about, Jason, you gonna get them in trouble? By the way, think about all the black children who are watching this, particularly the black boys, and they are being conditioned to believe that if a white woman is screaming at you like that, and if a white woman is berating you and verbally assaulting you, that you are validated by your ability to accept this. You want to know how it is that you have young black boys who are extremely docile in the face of white society, no matter how violent, and they are extremely emotional and reckless and hostile and dangerous in the company of other black people? I hope this serves as a good primer for you. Caller from area code 210. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Michelle from Texas.
Michelle from where at in Texas?
San Antonio.
All right, Michelle from San Antonio. What's on your mind?
I was born in New York and I moved to South Carolina. And I know of racism because that never been hidden from me, even though I moved to South Carolina. I just didn't experience it in New York. So when we moved to South Carolina, I was like in the 5th grade, and the girl, we was, how you line up to go shopping your pencils, So we was lined up, and she came and got in front of me. And I said I was here first. And mind well, I had a black teacher. So she got in front of me because two of her friends was in line prior to me, So I told her I was here first, and I politely went around her and got back in, and she called me the N-word. My hand went right across her face. And, of course, I had to go to the principal office and so. So my teacher, after, they told us that they had to meet our parents or whatever, or what, the teacher had me call my grandmother, and my grandmother brought my uncle up there. And they know me. I don't talk much, I'm very quiet, whatever. But that day, what she said to me did something in me. So that was my response. Was I afraid? No, because that was just a quick response to what she did.
Well, certainly as children, the dangerous aspect of that is that when we teach black children who are taught to accept abuse from the dominant society grow into adults who accept abuse from the dominant society. So then you start accepting discrimination. See, it's one thing to be discriminated against. I can't control that happening. That may happen. I can't stop it. I can't control it. But you can certainly control whether you accept it. You can certainly control whether your children accept it. You can certainly control whether you give them an example that accepts it. And as far as I'm concerned, as long as you were doing what you're supposed to do in class and whatnot, at that point, they're supposed to have back to the wall for it. because that makes the impression on children young that even though we cannot stop these things necessarily from proactively happening, we can proactively respond to it. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller area code 662. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Thank you, Jason. Uninvited guest, Verona, Mississippi.
All right, uninvited guest. We're at Mississippi.
Verona, Mississippi.
All right, what's on your mind?
I would have took out the trash. When she turned around and got all them high fives, she probably got a raise when she went back to work. You know, he's supposed to have made an example out of her. Just go ahead and then been ready for the whole stadium. But they wasn't gonna kill him. You know, he's supposed to have made an example right.
They weren't. Let's be very clear. Let's be very clear. The man who was with her had every opportunity to check his broad.
Yeah,
he had every opportunity to do that. So part of that making a statement is to make it very clear we ain't gonna have that. We're not gonna have that. We're not gonna have it.
They up there hugging.
So all I'm saying is, if you don't check her, then just understand you're signing up for it. You're signing up for it, because what they do is they sit up here and figure they got the right one right up until the day they figure out they got the wrong one. They sit up here and do this when they figure, yeah, I got the right one today, and then you're gonna mess around and get the wrong one. And what I'm saying to you is that if they catch the wrong one, everybody gets it. And then that sets a precedent. You know what? Next time you go to a football game, why don't you just go cheer for your team and leave it at that? Leave it at that.
Thank you.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, I've seen it in L.A. I'm talking about Los Angeles. This wouldn't have happened in Los Angeles. That's the first thing I'm going to tell you. No shade on New England, but this wouldn't have happened in L.A. And, bro, you from Mississippi, you close enough to New Orleans to know this wouldn't have happened in the boot. This wouldn't happen in the boot. It's not going to be no video like this coming out the boot. It ain't going to be. I'm just telling you right now, it's not going to happen. I don't even think this would happen in Dallas, my old stomping grounds. I can't see this happening in Irving, Texas. I can't see it happening there. So New England, just understand you're not being virtuous. You're not winning any brownie points. That's the other thing right there. You ain't winning no damn brownie points. Tell me, what's the reward you get for absorbing her abuse? You get to go have dinner with Robert Kraft? If that dinner don't come with a $10 million contract, what we doing? What we doing?
Right.
I mean, now, if that's what it was, I'd be like, oh, okay, brother, well, you made out good there. Maybe I got to rethink that. Dinner with Robert Kraft? What the hell? What the hell? What is your reward? Well, we're going to pat you on the back. This is more damn symbolism.
Right. They would have really had something to talk about when they went back to their $20 trailer. And that's real. Be one, brother.
Black First, brother, thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Hell yeah, in the chat room, they said the Bears Stadium. Hell no, Chicago couldn't be. Chicago couldn't be. Chicago couldn't be. No, that couldn't happen in Chicago. It couldn't. I don't think it could happen in Atlanta, although it's a bunch of dudes switching and snapping their thongs now. I don't know. Atlanta, you're going to have to prove it to me. Atlanta going to have to prove it to me. So I don't know. In Atlanta, it's a bunch of dudes down there shaving their legs now. So I don't know. No, Philly, no, it ain't happening in Philadelphia. No, it's not happening there. It's not happening in Philadelphia at all. No, it ain't happening in Philadelphia. They might as well go ahead and shut Lincoln Field down. Might as well shut Lincoln Field down. Game is over. Shut Lincoln Field down. It's over. Call from area code 713. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Righteous from Houston, Texas.
Oh, ain't gonna happen in H-Town neither, by the way. What's on your mind, brother?
Come on, man. Hey, to that first caller, I'm so sick of these Rolling Martin type cats claiming Texas. First and foremost, they out of pocket and they out of line. You talking about a state of people that went and got their LTCs at a rate so high that they just changed the law to where we didn't even have to have a license to carry anymore. And secondly, if we just observe the video, you can see the person who shot the video purposely did not show the group of white men that were just a few seats down, not being accosted or verbally assaulted like that brother was. Thirdly, she not only physically assaulted this man, but she, in a post-COVID era, got in his personal space, and you know he had to get spitless on his body. And she turned around and high-fived a mammy that's making me say, where's her family from? So with that said, I know me personally, I'm not going to lie to you, TBA, I wouldn't have put hands on that woman. I probably would have stood there and took that. But me and her boyfriend would have went from the nosebleeds to the pylons on that field being a halftime show, just straightening that man out.
Well, definitely, like I say, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, collateral damage in this situation is approved. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get called from area code 424. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Brother Jason, it's Jeff Brown. How are you, man?
My man Jeff, what's on your mind, brother?
Hey, man. Your previous caller just stole my thunder. As usual, over the fence, out in the parking lot with everything he's saying. But I agree with about 98% of it. I would not have put my hands on that woman because a man is responsible for and accountable for the behavior of his woman. I would have beat the sugary shit out that white man, and fast. And if his woman wanted some, she could get some too at that point. But I'd have stomped him, and I wouldn't have cared. I've said this over and over, Brother Jason. If I get pulled over and a police officer puts his hands on my wife, the revolution starts right at the fender of his car. I'm done with this. We need to be done with this. I'm 57 years old and I'm from Chicago. And I don't think this has to do with age. This has to do with the spirit that black men specifically walk around. Black men walk around with the spirit of what is in the South, which is made up of the descendants of the slaves that did not run. This is what you are dealing with. This docile, whatever they putting in food, like when they were saying that there's atrazine that makes frogs gay, they was putting a lot of it in chicken. Well, back when I was eating it, they must have been putting it in the thigh and the drumstick, because those are pieces I didn't eat. I ate the wing and the breast, and ain't nothing soft. Ain't nothing soft about me. What is soft about us is our constitution about each other. This is the same thing I say about George Floyd. I do not believe that George Floyd died at the hands of Derek Chauvin. I believe George Floyd died because the young sister with the video camera didn't have no Black Panthers to go get, because she didn't have any black men standing there that saw that man on the ground the way Asian people see themselves, the way Armenian people see themselves, the way Greek people or whatever other nationality other than people from the descendants of slavery see themselves as. That's the issue. And what has to happen is cats like that first caller, we as people need to shame them and make them walk the goddamn plank. Because that brother right there would have stood by and watched George Floyd die. That brother right there will do nothing if a white man puts his hands on your mother or your sister or your auntie in your absence. It is time out for them. They get it too. We are cornered rats. You ever corner an animal, Jason? That's the wrong thing to do, because that animal understands that it has no choice. The problem is that too many black people think their little bit is enough, and they see docile as a choice. That is no longer our choice. We are in a position where if it does not happen now, Brother Jason, the joke about slavery coming back will be a reality. I really believe that. What say you, brother?
I agree with everything you're saying. First of all, y'all ain't even got no stadium in L.A., and this wouldn't happen. Although I think did they finish building y'all stadium yet? I mean, I think it was under construction. I think they might have finished building it. So I might be wrong about that. But I'm like, they don't even have a stadium in L.A., and this wouldn't happen there. It wouldn't happen regardless. Look, like I say, Jeff, I'm not quite the same age as you, but I'm old enough, And my whole thing about it here is at this point right now, we've entered an era where black folk ain't scared of repercussions if it's other black people. That's the problem. Black folk don't care what the repercussions are. If it's another black folk, all of a sudden, and there's no mercy, there's no understanding, we gonna go all out. We don't care what. Nobody sits up here and talks about, you gonna end up doing 99 years. Nobody says that when there's other black folk. That conversation never comes up. People only talk about what they gonna do. But they never talk about any of these kind of scared nigga consequences when they're talking about other black people. I mean, male, female, women going after their baby daddies and everything else. They trying to run them over and every damn thing else. These girls took that girl down there to Mexico, beat her to death. And nobody was talking about consequences like that. It's only when we're talking about the dominant society that all of a sudden you can see that plantation gene start to poke its head up. And all of a sudden, as Malcolm X said, now you ain't got no blood. You ready to shed blood for everything else.
How about that?
Now against the white supremacist structure, you ain't got no blood now. Oh, sorry, boss, I can't do that. That's why I told him, I'm like, that's good old fashioned fear talking.
Take a real good look at this video. Take a good look at this white man. This white man, first off, is a cuck. Take a good look at him. She runs the house. Now take a good look at what he does when he gets quote unquote control under her. He gives her a big hug and a high five and a kiss because her behavior is his thinking. He would do that. He knows he can't. So just like in Caucasian white man fashion, white men, this is where we get it. White men don't care about their women. This is where we get it. He put his woman up to that. If I was that dude, I would have mushed that broad in the face and two-piece that dude right there. Because he does not, it is not that he does not, he has a problem with this behavior. He has a problem with the fact that he can't take it any further. These are white people, and this is what we need to understand as black people. I'll say this, and I'll get it out your face, bro. What we have to understand is that there are white people here who have heard the stories. You don't think Jerry Jones tells the stories about his grandfather? You don't think that these white people haven't been told stories about the black and white pictures we see of white people standing under black people hanging, smiling like they just caught a big goddamn fish? They want to act that out so bad. And if it was me, Brother Jason, I'd have gave them the opportunity. We finna see. I'm going to beat the rest of the hair off your half-balding ass head. I'm going to pull that Matuzik sweater over your head. I'm going to pull your jersey over your head, and I'm going to tenderize your ribs for you right before I kick you in the balls. That's exactly how it's going down. That's my plan. That's what I tell you what, you're not going to put me in jail. You're not going to kill me and have me die like this because he was under the same consequences as he stood there docile as if he'd have knocked that dude's ass out. Straight up. We got to say, bruh.
I feel like my man Trick Daddy. I feel like my man Trick Daddy when it was that song, boy, is this your boy? Then you better come and get your boy. That's what you need to be talking about that chick. Is this your broad? Is this your broad? Then you better come and get your broad. Because she about to get got. So if this your broad, you better come and get your broad.
Better come get him.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, Jeff. You need to understand, if this is your chick, you are supposed to be in charge of it. Is this your broad? You better come and get your broad. Hey, dude, is this your boy? Then you better come and get your boy. If this your broad, you better come and get the broad. You better come do that. Call America 202. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Sister Sean from Washington, D.C.
All right, Sister Sean from D.C. What's on your mind?
Thank you. Thank you for the time. The message, I'm looking at this video, the message that it sends is that these Karens and everything can have a temper tantrum, and but their temper tantrums elevates to the level of assault towards black men. And the message, what this brother did, it kind of sends that it's okay. So basically what it does, it's encouraging anti-blackness, right? Now, the flip of that, some people may look at that same video and say, oh, well, the brother showed discipline, right? But, okay, which way do you go? In the time that we're in, we're already being targeted in anti-blackness. And the thing is that it doesn't even matter, because it was a clearly violation of personal space. And that's where it needs to be separated. Because if it were me, I'm a female, I'm a black woman, I would not be patting, if I was by his side, I would not be patting him on the back. I would be pushing him to the side. And that chick would have got hands immediately. Trust me, immediately. She would have never, me as a woman, if he had a woman at his side, me as a black, she would have never gotten that close. Not to him or to me. And I definitely would have been patting nobody on the damn back.
There certainly would be a problem with that, because as you can see in the video here, shameful enough to say, after she high-fives the white man, she then high-fives the mammy down in front of her. I'm going to keep repeating that so y'all can see it here. She kisses and high-fives the white man, and then there's a mammy right down there in front of her.
I didn't see that mammy. You caught the mammy before I did, but all that he would see.
It's a black female, right?
Been catching them hammies.
It's a black female. When you see at the 25-second mark, you can see she high-fives the white man, and there's a big, fat, round, rotund, milk dud built chick down there in front of him. And like I say, this is a hella off-code event. This is a hella off-code event. Damn a Super Bowl. This is an off-code event. In case y'all thinking I'm wrong about it, no. Right. If you take a look, the woman stands back up and you can see she's not white. That's a black woman down there. I'm playing it over and over again so you all can check it. And again. I'm playing it over and over again so all y'all can see, by the way. No, she's high-fiving that chick down there.
Yeah, looking at it. I didn't even see that part.
She high-fives the white man, and then she high-fives the woman down there. So just understand the disease is well advanced.
I'm just going to close with this. I heard the brothers, and I listened to it. The brothers were like, oh, I need to get at that dude. I need to get at that dude. I kind of feel a different way. I'm like, at these times, the females are just as a threat as the damn males. I mean, I'm almost to the point, forget the fucking chivalry. In other words, I hear what the brothers are saying. They wanted to get down that dude's throat. But no, give her a chance. Do your gentleman thing and your chivalry.
Well,
but, once you check her, that means that she can be checked just like any other man.
Well, let me take your example here. Let me extrapolate your example to the next logical step. To all the fellas listening, let's just say that you go to the game with your mother. Let's just say your mom is in her 60s, late 50s or 60s. God forbid you go with your grandmama. Y'all at the Patriots game. And this white woman's up in your grandmama's face sitting up here doing all this showing out. This white woman is in your mother's face doing all this showing out. And somebody's recording it. Now think about that for a moment. You are immortalized for all time with this woman sitting up here yelling in your mother's face, yelling in your grandmother's face. Let me tell you right now. We sent my favorite grandmother to glory a long time ago. Wouldn't be no Black Channel if this event had happened 20 years ago. I wouldn't be here with y'all tonight. I don't know. I'd probably be in front of the parole board as we speak. As we speak. As we talk. I'd probably be there now.
All right.
with the biggest ass smile on my face, by the way. What you mean?
Big cheese.
Understand something. I want y'all to understand something. That arms dealer that they just released Brittany Griner for? That arms dealer, don't you know the first thing he did when he got back to Russia was give an interview? First thing he did. He'd been in prison in America for years and years. First thing he did was give an interview. Don't you understand he was unrepentant as hell? He sat there and said, what's the proudest moment? He said the proudest moment he's seen is basically when Russia invaded Crimea. Crimea was the appetizer. Ukraine's the main course. He said that was the first time we had seen Russia get up off its knees. He's talking about Crimea, not Ukraine. That was years and years ago. So he was letting you know, I would do life in this damn son of a gun if it gets Russia back where it's supposed to be. I'll do life in here. Soon as they released him, he wasn't like, well, thank you, America. We appreciate that. Good. I mean, he was like, look here, we back in it. I've been locked down for years and years. I'm back in. Ain't no apologies. He was back in Putin all the damn way. But you telling us we got to do things differently. We got to do things differently. As black folk, that's what we get told. Our reactions always got to be something different. And in the process, it devalues everything else. And is there some dusty nigga stuff going on sometimes? Yes, of course. You see that. Sometimes that happens, but this ain't it. And I think for some people, they let the media make them hypersensitive to the point that, see, y'all are always doing this, that, and the other. And this kind of stuff here happens every day. This kind of thing happens every day. You know what this reminds me of? As a black male, let me tell y'all something. You get told all the time about what a threat you are, and people are this, that, and the other, and they're scared, and they can't live in peace. And this, don't y'all understand? It's holiday season. You go try to exercise some of your black male intimidation at some of these stores where the white women are shopping. Thank you very much for giving us a call. You try exercising some of these stores. See if you can get them white women to move out the way. When you go in front of the Xboxes, when you go in front of the jewelry counter, try to do that black male intimidation thing where you standing too close to them and they start moving out the way. See if you can make that work. Them women will be damn near twerking on you if you think you're going to get them to move out the way voluntarily. They going to show you quick, fast, and in a hurry. They are not scared of you. They gonna show you quick, fast, and in a hurry. They ain't afraid of you. You be standing in front of something they want to buy. An iPhone, an iPad, Patti LaBelle's potato pie, whatever the hell it is, pumpkin pie. You be standing in the way of something they want. You're gonna find out real quick, oh, they ain't the least bit scared of you. Not in the slightest. Believe that if you want to. Not in the slightest. If you don't believe me, go try it this holiday season. They'll be standing there with their buggy big as daylight. I don't care if you 7'4". They're going to be standing there with their buggy big as daylight. They ain't going to move nothing. If that's something they want to buy, they're going to stand right there in front of you. Caller from country code 447. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning, Brother Jason.
Oh, is my man Jeff in the UK?
Yes, sir, Brother Jeff. Greetings, Brother Jason. Yeah. What can I say? This is Brother Jeff from the UK. Brother Jason, this video is very disheartening. It's outrageous. The brother that's taking the abuse, I'm absolutely appalled on his behalf. I mean, he should have retaliated verbally, at least. Defending his honor, integrity as a man. Because as you correctly said, Jason, that image has been. It's almost like forever on camera, Jason. It's on camera forever now, Jason. Or some video forever. They'll never be erased now. So he's got to live with that image. Being, abused, emasculated by a Karen. that's his posterity. Man has no dignity, no self-respect. That's outrageous. I'm appalled at his lack of manhood, and lack of manly characteristics. Defend yourself. Defend your honor. At least do that as an African man, a black man of African descent. You have an image to behold. That image of him being berated by this termagant is outrageous.
We started the week. We start the week with a black woman over there in London, literally crawling on her hands and knees to Prince Charles, I guess now King Charles.
Yeah.
Literally crawling on her hands and knees. That's how we started. This is how we ended on both sides of things. And see, the reason why we got to take a hard line on this is because we here in America, we set the tone for everybody else. We have to understand our leadership position. We set the tone for how you all respond to these things. When y'all see us stand up, everybody stands up. But when you see us stand down, everybody else stands down. And so that's why I'm saying that the whole reason for this is understanding you're sending a message not just here in America, you're sending it around the world. That this is how you respond to it. Next thing you know, folks sit up here and try to one-up you. They sit up here and try to one-up you. That's when it gets real dangerous. You got black folks in London. Think about how that goes, man, for the next generation. That's a fly thing to do. Yeah. That's the way you respond to the British monarchy. That's the way to respond. Like they're rock stars. He ain't some young man. He's old as hell. But this is the way you respond.
Well, Jason, we've got a long way to go. We're getting there, Jason, but with your leadership, African Americans, FBA, the tip of the spear, we'll get there. But with these coons, in a way, we just get them out of the way and keep moving forward. Jason, it's a marathon, not a sprint, Jason. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We'll get there, Jason, But Jason, this is on the chat room, Jacket one. That's me in the chat room. So, Fifth Family, love and respect for UK. Keep doing the good work. Keep doing the good work, Jason.
All day, brother. We appreciate it. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. My man Jeff in the UK calling in here. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program here as well. So thank you very much in the chat room here. Big shout out here going to Tank Moham. I appreciate that. My man Tommy Felix on deck. I appreciate your brother here, Vano. We built this for Pepto and cable equipment. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm getting the wires straightened out. Jerome M. Instead of buying Jordans and partying, get yourself a candy bar and an asp. Absolutely. And UGX, Black Mzungu, thank you very much for your support here. You two put your contribution in red. I'm not really sure what currency that is. I'm not 100% certain what currency that is. UGX, I'm not 1,000% certain, but you two put it in red. So thank you very much for it. They're impressed, so I'm impressed. Iron Man, thank you very much as well. We appreciate that. Let me get caller from area code 786. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Rashad calling out of Oakland by way of Miami, Florida.
All right, Rashad out of Oakland. They say that's Ugandan shillings he gave it in. Okay, so that's Ugandan money. So shout out to Uganda down there. Some white folks, I think. Some white folks down there, they adopted one of those foster children. And, of course, the kid is dead now. So some white folks from South Carolina went to Uganda, supposedly foster child. Now the child basically died terribly, but they talking about putting them to death. As far as I'm concerned, necklace them. As far as I'm concerned, give them the necklacing and send a message to all these other folks out here who think that they're going to live out their white supremacist fantasy. We done run them off the yard and out the paint here, and they want to go around the world with it. So Uganda, stand up. This ain't no time to be sitting up here crawling on your hands and knees and dancing a jig. This is the time for you to sit up here and show that your children are not fair game and stop these people from adopting your kids. Y'all sitting up here with this damn deity complex. Stop these people from adopting your children. Let this be the event that tells you, no, they're not deities. They don't need to adopt anything. What's on your mind, brother?
Hey, I never heard of that. I'm just you just telling me that that's an update for me. So it kind of made me mad, made me real mad. You said this Ugandan thing you saying, but what I wanted to speak on is this white lady that approached this guy at this football stadium. There's plenty of things you can do. Of course, it don't need to resort to violence right off the bat, but at the same time, I had stuff that happened like that to me, and when I give a look, Jason, and I tell them, I said, look, you got a certain amount of time to get out of my face. You need to get the F out of my face. And I look her in the eye, and I'm looking her man in the eye, Jason. And more times than none, they know what time it is. They know where I'm going with this. That means I'm going to do something. Most of the time, something's going to happen. To this, I got to cease the threat that's in front of me. It's this woman. So I'm not saying what I'm going to do, but I got to cease this threat in front of me. And I'm looking at the man. And if you make a wrong move, I'm getting on you, because I'm from Miami, Florida, so I done been through jumps and stuff like that. The threat happens. I got to do what I got to do. You know what I'm saying? So I don't tell nobody to incriminate themselves on anything. But like you said, Jason, manhood is first, and it's either me or it's gonna be you, and it's not gonna be me. You know what I mean? So and another thing, when you reference that thing with you said something about Trick Daddy and that song Boy. Yeah, that's that's Boy. You better come and get your boy. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. You better come and get your woman. And I'm looking at the man when I'm talking to her, because he is supposed to be the figure. I'm like, yo, you need to come and get your girl. And if you want, I'm saying, if you were to get this girl, something about to happen to her, and something about to happen to you. You know what I mean? And ain't no time for scared talk, Jason. Like you said, sometimes you got your manhood will to protect your manhood. Like T.I. said, I'll die for my respect. I don't know what you do for yours, and we don't want to die for our respect. But Jason, man, let me tell you something. Some people just not built like that. You got a lot of these cowards that grew up. They'll let, and the bullies were there, they wouldn't fight these bullies. So that's the bottom line, man. A lot of these dudes that's talking right there, like that caller I heard earlier talking about all this other stuff, he'll let a bully punk do anything to him. But some of us, yeah, even though we had a healthy fear, we were at the end of the day, we like, this enough is enough. Let's go. And that's all I gotta say, Jason.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Don't be thugging with me. Shout out here to my man, One Thou. Much respect is always here. We the only ones who must cower and acquiesce every trashy white supremacist on the planet. Dangerous trend. Psychological warfare with the dangerous black male trope. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. The Jughead, respect as always. Frank Kwame, thank you very much. My folks over there in the UK standing up. Let me get caller from area code 424. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Brother Jay Speed, and I'm calling from L.A.
All right, Jay Speed from L.A. What's on your mind?
I hope what I'm about to say can not only give everybody an A plan, but a B plan. I'm in a situation right now. I'm 63 years old, but I'm fit and I'm quick. I'm at 4 for life. So I hope I can give y'all some info if this situation ever happened to you. All right? First thing you want to do, brothers and sisters, you have to start getting yourself in a little shape. That's number one. Number two, if this happened to you, they got these small little portables of pepper spray. She would have got the pepper spray. He would have got the ass whooping. So that's how you take the threat out, knowing he's going to be coming in your direction, and then you use the same thing as the police always use. You seen them as a threat. You was threatened for your life, or you was threatened for injury. But the story has to say consistent, because the first thing you say when the authorities come, because they gonna come, if you say she should have never got in my face and that's why I did it, well, that's not an excuse for the police. You say that you felt threatened. You got to be consistent with the story. I'm in a case right now with a Karen. She's going to lose. The DA going to pretty much go drop the case, because it's all what you say. It's what you do is one thing. But what you do secondly, when the first investigating officer come there, is what you say could end up having you put in jail or having you as the hero. So these are some things that we have to think.
Well, definitely, if the police come up, I'm a firm believer, don't say anything at all. You say something to your lawyer or whatever. The police question you, usually it's best not to say anything at all, because they can literally twist anything you have to say. However, it also helps, number one, if you're not by yourself. There's where that's the biggest thing I think you can do, is not be on your own and not be by yourself necessarily. And I know it's not always feasible, and I get that. But number one thing is, if you're not by yourself, because they're going to be a whole lot less likely or eager to try to twist something up if you actually got folk there with you. If it's just you by yourself, they're going to be more likely to try it. If you're not by yourself, they're going to be less likely to try it. I'll let you have the last word.
Well, these are security tactics that we use and we are trained for. And you're correct. If you don't know what to say, just don't say anything. But what's going to win your case, even to try to bring a case to you, no one is going to prosecute you when you feel your life is threatened or you feel like you're going to have bodily injury. These are the things that the police been using on us for years. That's why they can shoot us and get away with it, because they can say they feel threatened, even when a man is running away, just them using that word. But I'm telling you, brothers, the stun gun and the pepper spray, when it comes to female, is considered by law enforcement a non-lethal weapon, so you can never be charged with attempted murder or anything like that. And anybody else come into your space, then you can go ahead and do what you got to do.
Well,
but I'm just telling you, when
certainly Professor Black Truth and others have chronicled cases where, even saying that self-defense has not been a defense. However, certainly you want to make sure you have as much of anything stacked on your side as possible. Absolutely. Don't be wilding out. You make a very good point.
Yes, sir.
Don't make it I was offended situation. Because I'm not telling anybody it's because he's offended. This woman is sitting up here literally in his space. That's a threat. That's a clear and present threat. And that's the whole issue, is I was defending myself from a clear and present threat. I was concerned for my safety, life, and limb. And that's the stance you take about that. Absolutely. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get call from area code 267. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Don out of Philly.
Don out of Philadelphia. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I wanted to make a good point. Real excellent broadcast tonight. But you mentioned earlier that the brother that first called in, he had a lot of cowardice energy. And you were questioning as to whether or not he was a foundational Black American, right? And so you mentioned about him potentially being, at the border of Del Rio, Texas, et cetera, et cetera. Well, the brother that was assaulted at the stadium, he came out, made a post on social media. I looked the brother up, and the first thing I see in his profile is a Haitian flag. His name is Jerry Edmonds. So that explains why he displayed some of the behaviors he displayed. And that's really the point I wanted to make, B1.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. And I've had more than a few people state that this guy is certainly non-foundational, and I get that. For everybody involved, I want you to understand exactly even based on the optics of it. He's just happy to be in the country. He's just happy he didn't get deported. But in the meantime, if you want to know why, I'm going to say it. If you want to know why, I'm going to say it. If you want to know why Haiti is in the shape it's in, oh, hell. Call from area code 510. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Mr. Jason Black. This is Black Voltron calling out of deep East Oakland, California.
Black Voltron out of Oakland. I don't think this could have happened at the Raiders Stadium when it was there. I'm not sure it could happen in Vegas. I don't know. In Vegas, it's iffy. It's iffy.
I don't know about
certainly,
Vegas.
certainly when it was back in the town, there's just no way this could occur. It's just no. This is some parallel dimension, but it ain't Oakland.
Look here, man. Before I stopped watching the NFL about 5 years ago, I've been in this situation before at the Oakland Alameda Coliseum complex. I brought my mother, like you were explaining. I brought my daughter when she was very young. And let me tell you, Oakland was wild when the Raiders came back in 95. All right. Finally got our team back, and people was acting a fool. What I didn't see is a whole bunch of these Karens and these Gertrudes and these punk-ass white boys and shit walking around like they gonna check people and shit like that and getting all up in people's face. That shit, they wouldn't even dream of doing no stupid shit like that. Let me tell you, man, when I went to the Raider games and brought my daughter and my mom to the games and stuff, and the A's games and the Warriors games, let me tell you, I went in looking to squab. You hear me? I wish you fucking would fuck with my family. I'm looking to knock motherfuckers out. And all this shit, you running up on Patriots fans, you gotta remember something, Jason. Respect to the FOI brother who was saying bring pepper spray. You can't do that in none of these stadiums. You couldn't even do it back then. They're searching you, checking you. They're checking for contraband, checking for weed, checking for alcohol, checking for weapons, guns, pepper spray. You can't bring that in there. All you got is hands and feet. What I do remember is, you get a couple wild-ass Raiders fans or other teams, they wouldn't dare step to no brothers and stuff in Patriots uniforms or in Kansas City Chiefs uniforms. I remember even, being at a game with the San Diego Chargers, and there was a whole bunch of big-ass Samoans in Junior Seau jerseys. Them white folks gave them a wide berth. They wouldn't even fucking with the Samoans or the Tongans, okay? They wouldn't even dream of doing those dumb shit. And let's be real. This is some passive shit. Sorry, but a lot of black folks have gotten weak on us, all right? Hell no, you wouldn't try this, because first thing that's going to happen is, motherfucker, check your fucking bitch before I do, all right? That's what we going to say. And then she get crazy, you going to comb her, give her 5 on the black hand side, or 10, or 50, or 100, knock the shit out of her, and then knock the fuck out that dude, and he going right over the rail, about 1 or 2 stories down, like we do in the town, okay? None of this bullshit would even happen. They wouldn't even go to Raider games. They're too scared to go to Raider games. Oh, Raider games they're too violent. They're wild. You might get hurt, stabbed, or shot. No, I'm not going to the Raider game. That shit they just pulled, you get knocked the fuck out. And you ain't gonna make it to your car out in the parking lot. Nah, partner, you getting jumped. That's a promise. That's an absolute promise. So, within the last 20 years, unfortunately, black people being passive or passive aggressive have letting these white folks get bolder and bolder and bolder. And now you got other races thinking, oh, well, black people are scared, They're too passive. They're not going to do anything now. This ain't the old Black Panthers black people, foundational black Americans, who we know will fuck your ass up. No, these are some new Negroes, and they're scared. So let's just take advantage of them while we can. Here's how you check this stuff. The same way I taught my daughter to not be bullied in elementary school. She had a bully that was, running up on her, attacking her. She went to the teacher. Teacher didn't do nothing. The principal didn't do nothing. She came to me. Guess what I did? I taught her how to fight. She said, Daddy, I'm going to get in trouble. I said, fuck that teacher. Fuck them. I'm your daddy. You understand me? And this is what's going to happen. You're going to defend yourself. And when we go have that parent-teacher conference, I'm going to back you up. because I love you and you are my daughter. But I'll be damned if you're going to be bullied by anybody in this world. And guess what we're going to do afterward? We're going to go get some hamburgers and some ice cream at Lord's, okay? And that's exactly what I did. That was probably one of the best moments of her life. She still remembers it to this day. We cannot be scared any longer of these suspected white supremacists who will run up on us. You must, as a black man, defend yourself and your family and your loved ones. If you can't do that, you are not a man. Let me repeat that again. You are not a man. You are useless to us. If you can't provide the basic level of defense, I'm talking about hands, feet, shoulders, head, whatever you got to do. And like that's why brother said, yes, we got to get in shape, but you got to stay in shape. All right, you got to be prepared. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Stay prepared so you don't have to get prepared. Be ready for these white supremacists to attack you because they're going to attack you. How hard is that, people? Be ready. No, you ain't trying that shit in Oakland. You goddamn right, because there's going to be consequences. On that, I land. Be one to the fullest. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. They know where to do that at. Seattle, I got to say it. Seattle, New England. She didn't pick that dude for no reason. She knew what she was fooling with. They know where to try that at. They know where to try that. Shout out Black Voltron. They had to get rid of y'all's whole stadium for that. They was like, oh, we ain't dealing with this anymore. They said, yeah, we can't reform these people in Oakland. We just going to take the whole stadium. We're just going to move it to a whole new place. That'll be a whole lot easier than trying to reform the environment. Let's just pick up the stadium. Call from area code 941. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up? Huh?
Okay. He is floating. Caller from area code 219. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Mike T. from Gary, Indiana.
All right, YT from Gary. What's on your mind?
Mike T.
Okay, Mike T2. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I agree with the last brother from Oakland. We have to defend ourselves. If you step in our realm, man or woman, we have to do what we got to do. And we have to teach our children, just like they teach their children how to shoot guns from 1,000 yards. They teach their children how to kill us. They teach their women how to kill us. So we can't sit back and act like just because it's a woman stepping in our face, that everything is cool.
Carolyn Bryant.
Do what we have to do.
Carolyn Bryant. To anybody who does not consider a white woman in a black man's face a threat, Carolyn Bryant.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. 2 words, Carolyn Bryant. That is a threat. That is a threat. Demarius Amber Geiger. That is a threat. That is a threat. Call from area code 708. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from? Okay, caller from 708 has been abducted. Boy, I got a bunch of calls sitting here on the line right now. Folks, I'm going to try to get through as many of y'all as I can because we're short on time here, so please keep your comments brief. Let me get caller from area code 774. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Calling from Brockton, Massachusetts.
Okay, what's your name?
Lewis.
Lewis from Boston. What's on your mind?
That's a norm up here. Yep. That's a norm up here. White women, white guys get in your face is a norm. I'm from Sandersville, Georgia. When I moved here in 79, I moved with my father. I watched my father beat a cop up because he called him a boy. And growing up in my father's house, he made it clear that white people don't talk to you like that. These white guys up here and the black guys up here want to be friends. I got kids. I got a son, 39, and he plays poker every Thursday night with these white guys and black guys. This white guy called him a nigga, like, nigga, what's up? My son go, what you just say? He said, yeah, you heard me. So my son beat him up. And he said, I'm coming back with my boys, which is his black boys, because they want to be friends with him. There's a lot of foreigners up here, a lot of foreigners, not a lot of black Americans, foundational black Americans, not a lot. It's a lot of foreigners up here. I bet you that guy was Haitian when she was in his face. I bet you he was Haitian.
They're saying he was, so.
Huh?
They're saying he was, so.
I didn't even know that. I bet you I knew he was Haitian. But that's all I got to say.
But thank you very much for giving us a call here. Certainly, like I say, there's a reason for it, and that's to introduce that in the environment. That's the example you're supposed to be following. Let me get called from area code 313. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello.
Yes, you're on live. Put down the crack pipe. What's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Jeff from Detroit.
Jeff from Detroit. What's on your mind?
Hey, yes, sir. Yeah, I just think it's real funny, when you think about President Obama and at Charleston in the church, and when he sat there and started singing Amazing Grace, I wonder what them Heckle and Jekyll cartoon-ass Negroes would have done if they stood there and let him sing it by himself.
Good question. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get call from area code 267. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes. Hello, brother. My name is Monroe from Philadelphia.
All right, Monroe from Philadelphia. What's on your mind?
Hello?
Yes, you're on live. What's on your mind?
Hello? Yes, brother.
Caller from area code 909. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
California.
Okay, what is your name?
Robert. My name's Robert.
Where are you calling from, Robert?
California. You hear me? California?
California's a gigantic place, sir. Last try. Where are you calling from?
San Bernardino, California.
Okay, what's on your mind?
No, I just had a question. I just got a couple statements to make. I'm saying, are we weaker than ants? You feel me? Like, are we this weak? I got a phrase. When you put your foot on the anthill and leave it there, eventually you're gonna move that foot. You know what I'm saying? Eventually you're gonna move that foot. You're just not gonna have to go feet on that hill for too long. We with us, you can have your foot on us. We ain't gonna do nothing.
Well, I guess it depends on where you're at.
The analogy I'm trying to say.
I got plenty of video from places where this goes down totally differently. So I'm trying to get people to understand that this was off code as hell. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. This was off code as hell. I don't believe that this is the norm. This isn't actually the norm, but I don't want this to become the norm. We made a lot of progress in changing the way we deal with these things, and I don't want this to become the norm. Big shout out to Naima and Sydney. Thank you very much. And to everybody who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat. Thank you very much for your support tonight. Let me get caller from area code 757. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening. My name is Shannon from Chesapeake, Virginia.
Hello, Shannon from Chesapeake. What's on your mind?
I have a little scenario that came, my mother told me. Back in the early 60s, my uncle graduated college and became a high school teacher. He had a student that had an issue with every little thing that he did. And then one day, she had the gall to call him a nigger. So he smacked her in the face. And in the event that it happened, he couldn't believe that he did that. And he apologized and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." They did not accept the apology. He went to the school board and he was fired. So the Karen situation is real. And I just want to land my plane right there, sir.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. I want black folk to understand something here. Black people are not worried about jail or a job if it's other black folk. But it doesn't count. The problem is all that kind of bravado and all that kind of, recklessness, that doesn't count. You can get another job. What you can't get is your dignity back. Let me get caller America code 626. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Shawnee from Riverside area in California. How you doing?
All right, Shawnee from Riverside. What's on your mind?
Okay, so my thing. Okay, when I see this is happening in Oakland. Remember that barbecue Becky? That was one of the first that was really publicized when the woman was trying to tell them they couldn't barbecue out at the park that time. Remember that one? That was in Oakland. And that's when my daughter goes to law school up in San Francisco, Berkeley, right? So anyway, I used to grow up in Northern California, up in Davis. And we used to go back and forth to the Bay Area. My parents were in the Panthers and everything. Parents, with Tupac's mom and all that kind of stuff. Because I'm 57 years old, okay, so I'm not young. But here's the thing: I remember in East Oakland and during that time period, white people wouldn't have dared step to us like that. And I was just surprised when I saw that woman go after them about that barbecue pit. And then when I went to go visit my daughter up in the Bay Area, I noticed, I said, wow, I noticed the gentrification that was going on up there. And, there's a lot, it had really changed. But here's the bottom line. White supremacy is real. But here's the thing. It's the principle. We have to be willing. Stand for anything or stand for something or fall for anything. And at some point, we have to be willing, to risk it all. I would have taken a charge for that, just to have, popped her in her face or something like that. You know what I mean? But here's what I'm thinking.
The thing is, what they've conditioned people here is to think that that there's not anything worth us standing up for ourselves for, except under very limited circumstances. I'll let you have the last word.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you, I was in the military from 86 to 88. I was in the Army, okay? So I'm old now. But look, I just went and got my registration for a gun. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe that we have to protect ourselves, because you can best believe they are protecting themselves. And you're right. And the white women, they are the mother of white supremacy. And you're right. Somebody said they teach their women how to shoot and how to shoot to kill. And the black, they're after, And it's just, we can't. That guy standing there like that, just looking at her like, he should have knocked the shit out of her.
Well, definitely is off code as hell. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Shout out to everybody who's contributed to tonight's program here on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat. So thank you very much for your support as well. Let me get caller from area code 919. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Reggie Hairston from Dunwoody, Georgia.
Reggie from Dunwoody, what's on your mind?
Yes, sir. I called it a couple months back. I started my HVAC. And I've been going to these houses around Gainesville, Lake Lanier, and all of these places. And I have noticed microaggression at the white people's, because I'm mostly doing white people. I'm talking about like 99% of our customers is white. And I get microaggressions of racism from them when they're not getting their way. And one particular time I went over to this guy's house and his defrost circuit board start working. And he started complaining why his cotton picking defrost circuit board didn't start working until he got there, and he's been gone for 4 months. So I complained to my supervisor about that, and I told him that I didn't want to be sent back over the guy's house because of derogatory marks. He came and told me that it wasn't a racial term. He says it all the time. Not only him, but the dispatcher said she says it, and she never thought it was a racial term. So I'm really kind of thinking about just backing out of this HVAC thing and going back to the barbershop, because I don't feel safe either going into some of these people's houses. I don't know what they got going on or what they're thinking.
Let's try this a different way here. Brother, tell me, where are you going to go where you're not going to encounter white supremacy? Tell me where you're going.
That's exactly what I was
saying.
Okay, I understand that.
Do you think the barber shop is a haven against it? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, it's just I guess it's just my way of.
So I don't teach you all to not having to deal with it. Tell me where you're going to go where you don't have to deal with it, sir. Where's that? So all of us can come. So all of us can come join you.
Because
there.
at J.C. Penney's, there was kind of, I got a case with them. They was saying they called one of the black guys at
right. But my point is, it's a fantasy that there's some nirvana or some haven somewhere where you're gonna go and white supremacy is not gonna rear its head. I used to say as long as you're on planet Earth. But now they've already been to the moon, and they're already trying to colonize Mars. So if you are in this galaxy, you better be prepared to deal with white supremacy. Running from it is not an option. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get a caller from area code 215. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello. My name is Chris. I'm from Philly.
Okay, Chris from Philadelphia. What's on your mind?
Hey, I just wanted to say first and foremost that you do an excellent job. You're definitely helping raising the consciousness of our people. In regards to this video, I used to be what you call security guard at large events, football games, and I don't know if I missed that comment, but most of these white people, or people in general, before they get in those games, they are lit. So for what I see, this woman is 2 seats to the wind. So she's already out of control. But, people are saying that this guy from Haiti or wherever should have reacted differently. I think he showed immense control and discipline.
That's a good thing?
I say that.
You say that like that's a good thing.
Well,
somebody, you know what? Somebody could assault your daughter and you could just stand there and watch. And also, people would say, oh, you exercise such restraint and dignity.
Well, no, let me say, I didn't mean it that, it's not a probability of him doing that. Because, like I said, when I was younger, I would have punched that lady and everybody else around her. And I had. And after the dust settled, I always found myself in a position wanting to be, damn, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Because now I'm sitting in jail, got to pay bail money, got to go to court, this, that, and the other. But there's a lot of things. So you can be looked at from both ways. But the guy on his side, I'm pretty sure, is trying to tell him, don't pop, don't spaz. This, she's drunk. You know what I mean? We're here with all these white people. We got to go to work tomorrow. We ain't got time to be dealing with this. Let's let the lady go. But like I said, it's 50 cents in one hand, $50 in the other.
Not really. We got to go to work tomorrow. It's not like these niggas are the CEO of AT&T or something. It's not like they got some job of some tremendous significance here. We got to go to work tomorrow, nigga. You had a football game on Sunday, man. I mean, that's not anything of any consequence.
Them cheese sandwiches and milks, and ain't the thing, bro. I don't need that. Well, but thanks for taking my call, man.
Yeah, like I say, Philadelphia, y'all got one out here. Philadelphia was doing good. I guess old boy wanted to call in. He from the east side. That's where he's from. He's from the east side. That's one of them fellas must live out near Plymouth Meeting. He lives somewhere out there. He's somewhere out there. Plymouth Meeting, Germantown. He from out there. Oh, hi, guys. You exercise such restraint. I think that was swell. So, even one of them cats there. I'm not going to say King of Prussia. But that must be one of them cats from Plymouth Meeting or Germantown or something. Caller from Air Code 717, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, my name is Elle, and I'm calling from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Elle from Harrisburg, and what's on your mind?
A lot, actually. The first thing I wanted to do is say thank you, because this broadcast actually helped me get the courage that I needed to type up a complaint against one of my coworkers that I've been having issues with at work. I've been kind of putting it off and trying to push it to the back of my mind and pretty much being a coward. And this broadcast was the push that I needed to just go ahead and type up that paperwork and get it documented and get it going and defend myself. So thank you so much for that. I've been listening to you since I was like 18, 19. I'm now 29 going on 30. So thank you for everything. And I'll end my call with that.
Well, definitely, we cannot assure you that you will not encounter white supremacy. I promise you will. What I do assure you is that you do not have to accept it. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 630. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Jason. This is Nick from Chicago by way of Houston.
Nick from Chicago. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so these callers, very few of them today, but the callers that are pretty much doing the cowardice tap dancing thing, that's really annoying. Anybody around me like that, I just don't. I would say I don't understand it, but it's just insane. As you know, I've called in, and I mentioned this a few times, mainly on your other broadcasts, but I've thrown hands with the police already and physically fought and beat them off of somebody before. So I'm ready to go pretty much at any moment. If somebody came up to me like that, I looked at that scenario. I didn't notice the other rotund black woman down there. But if that lady came up, first thing I'm thinking when I see the guy turn his head, I'm telling that dude, I'm either saying it pretty loud or loud enough for him to hear, saying, if you don't got my back, I'm beating your ass. Because I'm about to do something if she doesn't move. And after that whole situation, depending on what he did, because this is how I grew up. I was raised in my grandmother's house. And like they said, they grew up, if you don't join in on a fight when something's happening and you get jumped, they gonna get their ass beat.
Yep. That's old school right there. It's like, okay, if it goes down and you don't do nothing, just understand when I'm done with them, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, and he's over there patting them and saying, yeah, calm down. All right, the only calm and down that's going to happen are those two. Because I looked at the scenario, and I can imagine myself being in there, which is, as I told you about the anger. I'll try to avoid certain situations. This lady is either getting pushed down or somewhere, but she's getting knocked out. And the guy, he's going to get knocked out. But somebody's flying down the stairs. I've already seen an opening. Other people would have been angry. It doesn't matter. I'm defending myself. I'm getting put in a hostile situation. Just like that FOI brother said, I'm getting put in a hostile situation where I'm defending my life, defending myself from bodily harm. And that's the end. That's the beginning and the end. There is no applauding me for, holding my own. I can't see very many situations unless I hold some, I guess, important executive position at a company, but then I wouldn't be in those types of seats.
Yeah,
so I can't even see
in the owner's
very
box
many scenarios where you will hold back.
Yeah, folks are making the excuses for you being in the owner's box if you had some of that kind of consequence. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. And what good is it if the lowliest Karen, the lowliest suspected white supremacist Karen, has as much credibility as a black executive? What the hell good is it to be an executive then? Tell me what value it is. Call from Airco 314. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello.
Yes, put down the drink. You're on live. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Mimi, and I'm calling from St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, Mimi, what's on your mind?
Listen, I am an ICU nurse, and let me tell y'all, this bullshit doesn't just happen on the streets and anywhere else. It happens in the business place, in the hospital. I had a sorry-ass, weak-ass doctor following me around in the unit talking tall, big shit in the back of my head. She made the mistake of grabbing my hair because I was ignoring her. She made the big mistake of grabbing my hair. I gave that bitch this work. Do you understand me? I gave her the work. And then she had the nerve to call her husband, who was another doctor. I don't give a fuck. I fucked him up too. And at the end of the day, what I'm saying is this. White folks like to pack up. They come at you like, okay, we're husband and wife and we're a team. But they want to separate us, black men against black women. They want us to be separated. That's fine if that's what y'all want to do, but we ain't going for it. What I did for me. You not going to walk up behind me and grab my hair, bitch. You're not getting ready to talk shit to me and threaten me because I'm going to give you the business. One thing about it and two things for sure, I might be a nurse, bitch, but I'm still black and I'm from the streets and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I gave her ass that work. Do not fall back on these people. They think that just because they white, they say so, and it is so. No, bitch, it ain't even about that. It's not. Don't be sent up here trying to be docile to these motherfuckers. No. I can talk professional with the best of them. I can come out with all the right lingo when I need to. But I tell you what, you come at me crazy, and I'm going to give you stupid. All right?
Certainly the only
That's
thing.
all I want.
Certainly the only thing I have in response to say that
is. All right. Thank you.
I'm not sure your job is going to be the same, but I definitely I endorse this.
My job is good. They already, you know what? Let me tell you what happened to this chick. Because of what she did, she ended up having to get a psych evaluation, and she's no longer in the unit. Her and her husband are gone. So I'm good. I don't care. But you don't get to behave this way. You don't get to attack a person because of their race. You don't get to, it's not right. And just because you're white, you ain't right. I don't care what y'all got going on in your world and in your mind, but if you step to me wrong, I'm going to show you the right way.
I definitely agree with that.
That's
Thank you
it.
very much for giving us a call tonight. Sometimes you got to lay them down and know what's going on about that. It's for your children. It's not for anybody else. It's for your children so they understand exactly what's going on. And for everyone around you there. We set a tone for people. We set a tone. Let me get called from area code 929. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Jason. This is Daryl from Chicago.
Daryl from Chicago. What's on your mind?
Excellent broadcast, Jason, and excellent scenario. I like what that lady just said, the last caller. She's right on point with that. As you know, in Chicago, you know, you got Soldiers Field. And that would have never happened at Soldiers Field. I'm tell you that. And no white people there, they know what time it is with the black folks, so they don't even cross that path because it's going to be on. They wait, they lay. And again, that situation there that happened in New England, of course, I actually been to that stadium before, so that's a hostile environment anyway. But still, you know, the bottom line is that you have to set the tone, the precedent for you not accepting anything like that. My dad was like that. He was straight up. Oh, you step to me, we're gonna have a problem. Serious that. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, leave it alone, and if you keep on. He's not gonna even take no mess, and he taught us that. You know, thank him for that. You know, I teach that to my nephews and and grandchildren. So the bottom line is that we have to set that tone, like you said, Jason. If they're going to try you in any kind of way, get you hemmed up, I don't mind. And I got a decent amount of money. I don't mind paying bail money at all. I have no problem doing it or helping somebody else out that's with me. We all down together.
My whole thing, brother, is I'm just like, in America today, I don't understand. As a black person, there's so many black people who are desirous to walk around, sleepwalking. And I'm like, hey, even if you ain't got bail money, you should have some way to defend yourself. If you ain't got one, you should have the other. Right. If you don't have a way to defend yourself, have bail. If you ain't got, preferably you got both, but you should have one or the other. You shouldn't be walking around with none, because what that means is you have completely and totally ignored everything you've seen for the last 50 years. You just ignored, and then it's like, what are the chances it could happen to me? And then your damn number comes up. And if you're black in America, your number is always going to come up. Always.
All the time.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller code 804. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Kathy Rome from Henrico, Virginia.
Hello, Kathy from Henrico. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm a child of integration, and you can imagine what that was. Okay, we went into the white schools, and we got all kind of hostility and everything, and they would wait to do their dirt in the cafeteria. And one day, I was sitting there, minding my own business, and this white boy walked up to me and took my tray and slid it all the way on the floor. And then he took his fist and hit me in the back. I got up from that chair, and I wailed on it. I had gotten sick and tired of that torment and that, and the other. And after that, some of the bullying stopped. Well, most of it stopped. I'm telling you, if they think that they can run I don't care what those immigrants do, those African immigrants, because they got the wrong idea. Because I've seen them act so passive to white supremacy. Like if I ignore it and stuff, it'll go away. No, it won't. And from that point of because I was in grade school, growing up, being in there, they always had some kind of hostility, but I took it to them. And so did everybody else. We didn't want to hear that mess about, you got to turn the other cheek. No, I don't have to turn the other cheek. And not gonna turn the other cheek. You touch me, and I'm going to touch you. And that's the bottom line. That passive-aggressive crap that we have been brainwashed to believe, that Bible stuff. If anybody truly, truly, truly read that Bible, they would see in every part they took action. They did. That passive stuff was taught by white supremacy.
Well, it's certainly taught collectively as a tool of subjugation. But you all know the rule I've given you all here. If we cannot all be equally comfortable, then we will all be equally uncomfortable. But I'll be damned if you're going to be over there comfortable and making the rest of us miserable. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 404. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on, Jason? It's Leroy from Atlanta.
All right, Leroy from Atlanta. What's on your mind?
Hey, this for the guy that called. He wanted to go back to the barber shop instead of pursuing HVAC. Man, do you, man. Get your HVAC and work where you want to. And this goes for everybody listening and in the chat. If you live in a state where you can carry. I stay in the state where all you got to have it in is a holster and you can carry. So, I mean, I can't tell people not to go where they want to go.
60 seconds.
I go where I can carry, so they can see. And if they say something to you, let them know like how they say. Like one of the other earlier callers say. Like the cops say they in fear of their life and they got a family they got to go home to. Say the same thing.
Well, you
that's
know,
who I. That's
I'm
what
a
I
firm
say
believer.
to whoever.
You don't let people sit up here and run you out of your profession. You don't let people sit up here and do that because, once again, we're the people who don't run. We're supposed to be setting the tone for this. So it doesn't do us any good to do that. First of all, where are you running? And second of all, you got to train for this. You got to put money into it and whatnot. So you got to be built better than that. You got to be built better than that. You can't be somebody that, you're going to encounter white supremacy wherever you are. Your job is to learn and demonstrate how to overcome it and subjugate it, not how to run from it. Running is not a strategy. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 702. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, this is Sean. Can you hear me?
Yes, you're on live. What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Sorry about that. This is Sean calling out of Las Vegas.
Okay, Sean, what's on your mind?
So I was just calling to let people, give them an idea of what they're seeing. A couple of things real quick. One, you can tell them brothers aren't from here. Because us out here, we can toss her and her dude down in bleachers. We don't play that. People don't get close to us out of here because, a lot of people sleep on Vegas, but you come here and a whole lot of bad things can happen if you come slipping, and you're sleeping. Another thing also is a lot of people don't realize that those people probably are from Cali. Because people who are, native to Vegas, they know better than to act like that because they know the consequences. So what happens is people from Cali come, they sell a house, come out here, buy 2, 3 houses, live in one, renting them. Now they bubbling and they up, but they bring in that same Cali attitude and mentality of the gentrification that took place out here. That when you come out here, if you're not from here, you don't even know how our numbers. We're done out here too, just like Cali. We finished out here. So, if you're not from, so people come here, they save their money up, they come to vacation, they come have a good time, and they thinking it's sweet, and then you see stuff like this.
Yeah,
you don't want to go to jail.
I got the same. I got the same feeling too. I don't know if she's from Oakland. I doubt it, but I don't know if she's from California or from Vegas. But she doing that because she felt safe. She doing that because she felt safe. She's doing that because I'm just saying the way she acting. When somebody, you had to be scoping them for a minute. You had to be scoping them for a minute. Maybe she heard an accent on them. I know dude had dinner with Robert Kraft or something, so I haven't heard his voice or whatever, but she might have heard them talking. She might have heard an accent. She might have heard an accent for one of them, and something let her know, okay, I can go ahead and flex on these two. But that is not something that you're going to sit up here and do with everybody like that. And what I'm saying is when you're being targeted, like I'm saying, if they were Asian, they would call it a hate crime. When you're being targeted, you don't play no games about that. I'll let you have the last word.
Well, and just so y'all know, like, for example, the West Side, North Las Vegas used to be all black. You wouldn't see nobody else. Now, it's done. They got a big sign called the Historical West Side. Now, that stuff it's been done, been gentrified. They've knocked down buildings and all types of stuff like that. So just know when y'all come out here, they really don't want you out here. They don't like you out here. And they're going to let you know how they feel about it. Not only from the businesses and the establishments and the casinos, that's why y'all get treated like that, with service and things of that nature. But then the same video we watching right now, they think they got the chutzpah, as them small hat people say, to be acting like that. But us from out here, we don't play that at all with these people. So y'all better know when y'all come here what y'all coming to.
Yeah, that's like all. I say, you're being targeted. Thank you very much for giving us a call. She knew where she could do that, and she knew where she couldn't. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know where she was from originally, but she targeted them because she felt safe trying that with them. She wasn't trying that with folk in general. She knew they were the right ones. She knew they were the right ones. This is why I'm saying all this stuff where y'all are sitting up here and going in on us and acting like you're different people and you're separate people, then this kind of thing happens. And I don't know. It's kind of a bad precedent because understand something. Old boy's cheesing. He meant Robert Kraft. Boy, cheese. Look at the teeth. I mean, look at the teeth on him, boy. This is it. This is his moment. He's like, look, white daddy. Look at the cheese, the teeth. Y'all seeing nothing but teeth on him. This is it, boy. He looks like one of the Publishers Clearinghouse winners. That's all you're seeing from him. His boy just big old teeth just gleaming. He knows. Boy, he looking like he at the Nike store. Look at this. This is great. This is his moment. Caller Miracle 352. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Ray calling from Ocala, Florida.
Ray from Ocala. What's on your mind?
I like to say excellent broadcast. I know I did. This is for the call about the HVAC. I did work in HVAC down here, and these people. I did excellent work. Some of the people was very, very nice. Call and praise my job and everything. But then I had a few people I ran into. They called, said I robbed them, I stole money from them. That once that happened, because they, you're going in these people's houses, and sometimes you just got to watch yourself. But I just like to say, the hate and the brainwashing, the hate that they are pushing right now is in full force, and they are trying to take us the hell out of here. And I just wish black people get on code and stop making us soft targets. I get so mad when I see people making us targets, turning the other cheek, like the guy with Amber Geiger. He gets up there. He might as well just had sex with the lady after she killed his brother. And they make us soft targets, and I just got so much rage in me, man. And I know this thing is getting ready to come to a head. It's getting ready to come to a head, and black people better be on. You better be ready. And all this Jesus Christ and trying to get along. And another thing, that lady that gave her 5, it needs to be penalties for people, black people, who do not hold the line.
Black folks are out here talking about the white woman, but you need to know who that chick was there too. She high-fiving. In for a penny, in for a damn pound. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Yeah, boy, I'm telling you, there he is on video. You see him. He got to go meet White Daddy. Nothing but teeth, y'all. Nothing but teeth. Look at him. I'm sure glad I got out of Port-au-Prince for this. It was all worth it. All worth it. Soon as he walked in the room, watch this here. Soon as he walks in the room, give him a hug. Big old hug. Hey, Daddy Kraft, what's going on? Love you, man. Love you. All right. Look at him. All teeth like they peers. Like they peers. This is why every time we turn around, we got to straighten out these folks. Every time we turn around. Off code as hell. That just happened to him, and it ain't nothing but teeth after that. Ooh, look here, baby. It's all good. I'm finally in the big house. I'm in the big house. Jason, you shouldn't be calling out like that. You damn right I'm calling out like that. I'm in the big house. What's up, Daddy Kraft? What's going on? Big hug. Look at me. I finally made it. Caller Miracle 412. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Jason. My name is Robert. I'm calling from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Robert from Pittsburgh, what's on your mind?
Brothers and sisters, it's simple. Just give your name and give the area where you're from. If it's a state, give the city. It's simple. Black men, please stop showing effeminate and weak behavior. Like cute hairstyles, like that guy we just seen on your program. Tight clothes, earrings, piercings, etc. You make yourself a target for predatory people. Do you remember the saying that a dog who smells fear in you will attack? Growing up in Pittsburgh, when we went to high school, we met other ethnicities that were not scared of us. I grew up in the black community, and they grew up in their community, and they met black people who were not scared of them. So we got it on. At one time, 3 high schools in the city on the north side of Pittsburgh were rioting. And we held our ground, and we did very well to the point where they had a respect for us. The only thing we had to do, though, we fought them, and we had to fight the police that came after us, too. But eventually, there's a mutual respect, whereas, okay, they figured we were tough, and we figured they were tough. But it was a mutual respect. We didn't bother each other. So what I'm saying is, basically, remember, people, that we were the first people to learn how to fight with their hands. It's not martial arts, it's man-to arts. So we need to get back to being physically shaped, Don't worry about an earring in your ear if you're a man, or a cute hairstyle or tight clothes. Be ready, because if you get ready, you don't have to. If you stay ready, you don't have to be. You don't have to get ready. That's all I like to say, Jason. I love your broadcast, and keep up the good work of awareness, my brother.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, brother. We appreciate that. Let me get call of America code 612. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, brother. Good evening. This is George from Minnesota.
My man
How you
George
doing,
from Minnesota. What's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, when I look at the picture that you have on the screen, you realize that white supremacy operates as a pack of wolves. Look at how she's high-fiving everybody around her. So we have to understand that we have to act as one and be on code. Our how do you call it? Our identity is our color. And we have to stand. The point is that when you stand down and face these racists, they back off. Let me just give one good example that happened to me this evening. I was in a shop, and also this white guy with tattoos all over his body. He tried to size me up, just looking at me. I stared at him directly on his face, and I moved towards him. He just turned around and left. He went to his car, and I walked towards his car. My car wasn't in that direction. I walked towards his car, stared at him again, and I kept going, and I went to my car, and he left. You know, it was just sort of an intimidation tactics. Don't give them any space. Don't give them any chance. This is what we did in the past. And one last comment. The continent has been suppressed because we wish that white supremacy should go away. We need to start confronting it at a total scale. And you will realize that somehow, some way, slowly and steadily, we'll take back ourselves and the continent back into our own hands. Thank you, brother, for all what you do. Thank you all for keeping us on code and keeping us moving. Be one, brother.
Black versus always. Thank you very much for checking in with us tonight, George. That's my man George in Minneapolis. Always glad to hear from him. Let me get one more call here. Caller from area code 941. Okay, we hit the wrong button there. So, yeah, that was the same one from earlier here. So he's been talking to himself all night. Yeah, caller from 941 area code. He's been talking to himself all night. I don't know what he lit on tonight, but do better, brother. Do better. Whatever's going on there. All right. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. Folks, I did this tonight as an abject lesson. Everybody else is being taught, forgive, except when it comes to us. The only time they try to sell that is when we come around. We come around, forgive. But everybody else is ruthless. And I'm telling you that we do ourselves no favors by setting a precedent that we are the people handpicked for you to abuse. We do ourselves no favors. We do ourselves no favors. Do the limp ass scared talk if you want to. I'm just telling you like it is. When they realize that jail don't scare you and getting fired isn't gonna scare you, folks gonna get some act right. When they realize that jail doesn't scare you and getting fired doesn't scare you, they gonna get some act right. We're gonna go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. I want to thank Mr. Baker and everybody else who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Cash App, or Super Chat. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the Haven of Intelligent Black Thought. We do this every weekend. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time. And if you haven't been to our website, blackchannelfilms.com, you want to go and check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work, 7 a.m. Gentrified Race War. Blackchannelfilms.com, that's the site. We'll be back here tomorrow night on Christmas. As always, we will be here. I look forward to speaking to all of you then. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, Black is the future, and the future is never forgotten.